Welcome to the Fantasy Audiobook. Global Martial Arts. Kill enemies and explode your cultivation. Chapter 1. Chingcheng High School. Li Mu helplessly looked at the words above and sighed. 3 stars for warriors. Half a year has passed and he has made no progress at all. With mediocre qualifications, he may never be able to step into the realm of a warrior in this life. If he couldn't become a warrior, he would have to live at the lowest level in his life. This is a world of martial arts, where everyone who practices martial arts dreams of becoming a warrior. Becoming a warrior can receive thousands of subsidies per month, and the subsidies received by warriors are even more unimaginable. Warrior. Li Mu smiled bitterly, he didn't dare to think about it. Just when he was about to leave here, suddenly there was a sound in my ears. Congratulations on killing the mutated fire ants and gaining 1 year of cultivation. Kindness. Li Mu's body shook, his energy and blood surged, and his whole aura changed. I've broken through the 4-star level as a martial artist. Li Mu's eyes widened and he looked down at the giant ant that he had trampled to death. For a moment, my heart was so hot that I didn't dare to take a big breath. Goldfinger. After coming to this world for decades, he finally waited for his golden finger. However, it took him a year of training to reach the 4th-star martial arts level, and his talent was really mediocre. However, with the system, these problems have been solved. Relying on killing enemies to drop cultivation levels, isn't this just leveling up? Li Mu came to the woods of the college and stepped on the ants on the ground. However, the sound of the system did not ring in his ears. Why didn't it work? Does it take mutant creatures to meet the requirements? Although mutated creatures are not surprising at the moment, it is not an easy task to find such small mutated creatures in the school. At this time, Li Mu's shadow can be seen almost everywhere in the school woods. Congratulations on killing the mutated fire ant, you will lose 1 year of cultivation. Congratulations on killing the red flying ant, you will lose 1 year of cultivation. Congratulations on killing the red flame beetle, you will lose 1 year of cultivation, and you will get special bloodline scale armor. You can actually get blood. Li Mu felt the flow of energy in his body. Even if he lost his cultivation level, there was still a chance of losing his bloodline. Doesn't that mean that his qualifications can be changed? It is not difficult to become a warrior in this world, but there are very few people with bloodline. Even the lowest bloodline will receive special attention. Li Mu used his bloodline ability to condense an armor-like substance on the surface of his skin, which was as hard as a rock. This is a set of invisible armor. Low-level mutated creatures can drop blood. If he defeated those ferocious beasts, wouldn't it be? Thinking of this, Li Mu felt hot in his heart. Although he wanted to experiment, he still needed to improve his strength first. In one afternoon, Li Mu was promoted from a 3-star warrior to a 7-star warrior. This speed is enough to rival the geniuses of those big families. There are still too few mutant creatures in the school. The best way to quickly improve your strength is to enter the secret realm. The secret realm is equivalent to a place of trial, with hordes of ferocious beasts inside. It is a dangerous place, but it also has many unknown opportunities. Of course, if you want to enter the secret realm, you must reach the minimum cultivation level of a warrior. When they reach the realm of warriors in high school, they are among the top geniuses, and all the famous academies will send people to recruit students in person. For example, the beautiful monitor in Li Mu's class was born into a family of warriors and became a warrior at a young age. It is said that he is now a 2-star warrior. In the past, he could only look up to such a genius, but now. A few days later, strange rumors spread in Chingcheng High School. It was said that a black shadow would appear every night. People rumored that the black shadow was the school's special purpose to catch the students who cheated. This also made many students frightened and had no choice but to leave their beloved grove. Late at night, Li Mu was alone in the woods. Congratulations on killing the 9-ring earthworm and gaining 0.5 years of cultivation. Li Mu sighed helplessly. No matter how small a mosquito is, it is still flesh. School resources are limited, and mutated creatures are not everywhere. At present, Li Mu has broken through the 8-star martial arts peak and is only 1 step away from the 9-star martial arts disciple. Although he has not yet become a warrior, it is only a matter of time. You must know that the most evil genius in Chingcheng High School is the 2nd-star warrior. After searching for a while, Li Mu gave up after finding no prey. On the way home, Li Mu passed by a small alley. Suddenly, Li Mu raised his eyebrows and noticed something was wrong in the alley. Sure enough, several figures appeared in front of Li Mu like ghosts, looking at Li Mu with a ferocious smile. Zhang Song. Zhang Song looked at Li Mu with a ferocious smile and said ferociously, Li Mu, today is the day you die. 5-star martial arts disciples, 4 3-star martial arts disciples, what a generous move. It was just an accident that actually wanted to kill him. Kill them all. Zhang Song gave an order. The henchmen behind him all rushed towards Li Mu with grins on their faces. A punch was thrown out, making a muffled sound like a heavy artillery attack. However, the next second, the man only felt a strange force, and in less than 10 seconds. The 4 of them flew out at the same time, a trace of blood spilled from the corners of their mouths, and they looked at Li Mu in horror. How is that possible? Didn't it say that this kid was a 3-star warrior? How could he have such power? That movement just now, it's Yulongbu. Yulong steps into the door. Zhang Song was stunned and looked at Li Mu as if he had seen a ghost. Li Mu's expression was stern, and his cold gaze made Zhang Song take a step back. His realm is at 5-star martial arts level, and he is the mainstay in the entire high school. But he couldn't do it so easily to deal with 4 3-star warriors. At least it would be possible for a 7-star warrior to do it. I'll fight you, Zhang Song roared, and when he approached Li Mu, there was a mysterious light in his hand. A strong sense of crisis made Li Mu tense up. Ling Wu. Scale bloodline. Clang. Dazzling sparks burst out. Zhang Song only felt that his knife fell on the extremely hard armor. You. Looking at Li Mu's eyes, Zhang Song broke out in cold sweat. Bang. A punch blasted out, and the sound of broken ribs was extremely clear. Zhang Song flew backwards like a comet, a mouthful of blood spurted out, and his aura was extremely depressed. Li Mu picked up the Lingwu on the ground and slowly walked towards Zhang Song. Zhang Song kept coughing up blood, a shadow appeared in front of his eyes and his pupils suddenly shrank, looking at Li Mu in fear. Don't come here. Don't come over here. Li Mu, I was wrong. I was wrong, Grandpa Li. Dad Li. I will never tell anyone about your hurting me, Lingwu. Lingwu belongs to you too. The cold glare in Li Mu's eyes did not diminish, and he cut Zhang Song's throat with a knife. Zhang Song's eyes widened and he whimpered and fell straight down. You killed Zhang Song and gained 3 years of cultivation. Li Mu's aura doubled, and he successfully broke through to the 8th martial arts star, only 1 step away from the 9th star. Martial arts disciple. 8 stars. Several people on the ground were frightened when they discovered Li Mu's aura. They all looked at Li Mu with pale faces. If you reach the 8 stars of warriors at this age, you will definitely become a warrior in the future, and even becoming a grandmaster is not impossible. They were tricked by Zhang Song. After killing those few people, Li Mu broke through to the 9 stars of the martial arts. He is only 1 step away from being a warrior. After returning to the apartment, Li Mu took a shower and lay on the sofa. He had never felt so refreshed. Fengli Martial Arts School. Li Mu went online to check for information about Fengli Martial Arts School. There are dozens of warrior-level figures in Fengli Martial Arts Hall, a prestigious martial arts hall in Qingtang City. Zhang Song's father Zhang Shang is a figure at the peak of the 9-star martial arts, only 1 step away from being a martial artist. 9 stars for warriors. There's some trouble. But it's just trouble. In the past, even a low-level warrior would send shivers down Li Mu's spine. But now, the warrior 9 stars are just trouble. Becoming a warrior is only a matter of time. I will go elsewhere tomorrow to see the mutated creatures in Qingcheng City. A flash of sword light flashed past the rubbish alleys where debris was piled up. A huge mutated Junkrat was immediately killed by Li Mu. Congratulations on killing the mutated Junkrat, gaining the bloodline of madness, and losing 1 year of cultivation. Crazy bloodline. Li Mu was overjoyed, but he didn't expect that killing a Junkrat would also cause him to lose cultivation. It has been detected that the mad bloodline and the scale bloodline can be fused. Can they be merged? Merge. Li Mu's face turned red, and his whole body was filled with hot energy, as if there were thousands of ants swimming in his meridians, and he was extremely numb. After about a minute, the strange feeling disappeared. This power. Li Mu clenched his fists and showed excitement. It wasn't just his blood that had changed. He successfully broke through to the warrior realm. Warrior. In just a few days, he had successfully transformed from a 3-star warrior to a warrior. It's incredible. Li Mu used the fused bloodline, and blood-red scales appeared on his arms. The strength is at least several times stronger than before. Now even spiritual weapons can hardly harm me. Li Mu left the alley and came to the warrior base. The warrior base is specifically responsible for testing, registering and recording people who become warriors. When we arrived at the base, we could see countless figures everywhere. There are so many people. Li Mu couldn't help but sigh. Suddenly, a staff member came to Li Mu and asked politely, "Hello, how can I help you?" "Hello, I'm here to register as a warrior," Li Mu said clearly. Register as a warrior. The staff looked at Li Mu in surprise. This young man looks like he is still a student. Could it be that he has become a warrior? Is this impossible? It should be impossible for such a young guy to become a warrior before. Register as a warrior. People around him heard the news and were a little surprised when they saw Li Mu's young face. "Are you serious?" the staff member asked seriously. "Kindness. Then come with me." Arriving at a test record room, the staff asked Li Mu to fill in his information. Xingcheng High School. Li Mu. 1 star for warriors. Strange, why I've never heard of this guy. Li Mu came to the testing machine. Is one full blow enough? Li Mu turned around and asked. Kindness. Li Mu took a deep breath, the vigorous power in his body was ready to go, and he adjusted his state to its peak. Boom. A thunderstorm-like sound exploded, and invisible air waves spread around. The numbers on the screen are constantly changing. The final strength is fixed at 1500 T. 1,500 tons. The staff member was dumbfounded, his eyes full of shock. This is already comparable to a 3-star warrior. An ordinary 1-star warrior has a power of 800 to 900 T at most, but Li Mu actually reached 1500 T. Evildoer. Li Mu looked at the numbers and didn't know what he was thinking. He looked back at the staff and asked, "Can I try again?" The staff member nodded, and then looked at Li Mu doubtfully. "Try again. Isn't this his full strength? This is impossible. Go crazy." Li Mu's aura suddenly rose, his eyes flashed with a scarlet color, and an incomparable majestic power raged within his body. The staff was completely dumbfounded. The open mouth was big enough to stuff an ostrich egg. Bloodline. He actually has bloodline. Bang. Another blow, this one felt as if the room was shaking. The number on the screen changed again and finally stopped at 2500 T. Oh my god. The staff's legs were trembling and they looked at Li Mu as if they were looking at monsters. A 1-star warrior is comparable to a 5-star warrior. Is this guy still a human being? Using madness has increased your power by 1000 T. Although the madness has been greatly improved, it is not without side effects. Once the madness ends, Li Mu will have a short period of weakening, and his strength will be greatly reduced. Madness can only be used as a trump card. In addition to testing his strength, Li Mu also tested his body skills. Yulong walked in and shocked the staff even more. After all the tests were over, Li Mu waited for a while in the lounge. Not long after, a woman wearing a red cheongsam with a hot figure and a pair of big white legs came over. Hiss. Li Mu took a sharp breath, he was just a young man with a strong temper. This battle is a bit difficult to withstand. Mr. Li Mu, this is your identity magnetic card. Your status as a warrior has been recorded. You can enjoy the treatment of a warrior anywhere. This is the medicine given to you by the minister. I hope you will accept it. Potion. Li Mu glanced at the amber potion in the box, and his expression suddenly changed slightly. Practice potion. It can help with cultivation, but the price is hundreds of thousands. Minister, are you trying to please him? Li Mu took the things and showed a smile. Please thank the minister for me. The woman showed a charming smile. I will definitely convey it to you. After Li Mu left the warrior base, he did not notice a certain office in the base. A middle-aged man's eyes had always been on Li Mu. Zhao Lei, director of Qingcheng Warrior Base Branch. Qingcheng High School. Has this little guy been deliberately hiding his talent? A 1-star warrior, with a bloodline that seems to be crazy, he is a good prospect. Add Li Mu's name to the list. Zhao Lei said to his secretary. Li Mu did not rest after becoming a warrior, he came to the blood-refining jungle, one of the secret trial areas in Qingcheng City. As soon as Li Mugong entered the secret realm, 2 high-level warriors stopped him. Little brother, you can't enter here easily, it's very dangerous. I am a warrior, Li Mu said and took out his identity card. The 2 of them were stunned at the same time, and took the magnetic card doubtfully. After confirming that there was no problem, both of them were a little surprised. Looking at Li Mu's leaving figure, he couldn't help but murmured. Such a young warrior is a child of which aristocratic family? Stepping into the blood-refining jungle, Li Mu noticed something extraordinary here. The aura is much stronger than outside, and there are many fierce auras in the jungle. The blood-refining jungle was surrounded by dangers and countless ferocious beasts. Li Mu did not dare to be careless in the slightest and kept his nerves tense. High risk, high reward. The blood-refining jungle is the only way to quickly improve his strength, and it can also help him hone his actual combat experience. Li Mu carefully searched around. Not long after, a huge figure attracted his attention. A dark blue wolf with unique patterns was wandering around. Thunder-banded wolf. Wait a minute, Li Mu suddenly noticed the lake-like fruit beside him. That is, spiritual fruit. Are the thunder-marked wolves here to protect the spiritual fruit? The unexpected movement made Li Mu tense up. The thunder-marked wolf glared at Li Mu with a ferocious expression, roared like thunder, and swooped towards Li Mu. Li Mu's aura rose, and he turned sideways to avoid the attack of the thunder-marked wolf. A faint green blade flashed past, turning into sword energy and roaring towards the thunder-marked wolf. Zizi. The patterns on the body of the thunder-marked wolf suddenly burst into dazzling light, and the roaring thunder roared and hit the sword. Boom. Invisible air waves roared out. Thunder raged, entangling the thunder-marked wolf in the thunder state, and its speed increased a few minutes. If it weren't for Li Mu's wandering dragon step, he might not have been able to react at this speed. What a strong strength, Li Mu exclaimed in surprise, and continued to draw his sword. The light of the sword turned into a rain screen and was extremely fierce, crushing the sky and the earth like an overwhelming force. Go crazy. Li Mu's aura suddenly rose, and the sword fell. The bright sword light cut through the void and pierced the head of the thunder-pattern wolf. Congratulations on killing the thunder-marked wolf and losing 2 years of cultivation. 2 years of cultivation. Li Mu's realm continued to rise, from warrior 1 star to warrior 2 star. He is a talented martial artist with 2 stars. After becoming a warrior, his speed suddenly slowed down. In the final analysis, it was still a question of qualifications. After Li Mu picked off the spirit fruit, he briefly recovered on the spot and resumed hunting. Not long after Li Mu left, several more people came. Several people looked at the corpse of the thunder-marked wolf with extremely solemn expressions. We're a step too late. Someone gets there first. The spiritual fruit was also picked. Boss, our trip was in vain. Wang Rui looked gloomy, looked at the body of the thunder-marked wolf and said solemnly, the body is still warm, the person should not have been gone for long, let's continue looking. Yes, the green lotus fruit can help a warrior increase the chance of breaking through the warrior, and he will never allow anyone to take away the green lotus fruit. The person who can kill the thunder-marked wolf must be at least a 5-star warrior. It is not difficult for their team to work together to kill a 5-star warrior. Li Mu eliminated some mutated creatures on the way and reached the peak of the warrior's 2nd star. Looking at Qingcheng High School's 2-star peak warriors, the most powerful one in Qingcheng High School is probably the 3-star warriors. From the 3rd-star martial artist to the 2nd-star martial artist, Li Mu may cause a new storm after returning to school. At this time, in the lush woods, a pair of green eyes were staring at him above Li Mu's head. Hiss! A huge shadow shrouded down, and Li Mu felt cold and took a step back. Successfully evaded the attack. A green flower snake. It's just a low-level 1st-level ferocious beast that can be destroyed with bare hands. The sword light cut through the void, and the green flower snake was divided into several sections in an instant. Congratulations on killing the green flower snake and gaining 2 years of cultivation. Li Mu's aura climbed to the peak of the warrior's 2nd star. He sighed helplessly, it was because his cultivation talent was so poor. If it were a genius like Li Ruobing, he would probably have become a martial artist by now. Kindness. Li Mu was planning to continue looking for the ferocious beast, when suddenly he noticed movement behind him. Someone is coming. Wang Rui and others appeared in front of Li Mu. When they saw Li Mu, they were stunned at the same time. So young. Wang Rui glanced at the already dead mural snake and guessed that Li Mu's strength was probably around the warrior level 2. That'll be it later. Li Mu did not take back his Lingwu. When Wang Rui saw the Lingwu, a greedy look flashed in his eyes. The warrior has 5 stars, and the 4 warriors have 4 stars. The one who comes is not kind. Wang Rui hid the greed in his eyes and walked towards Li Mu with a smile. My little brother is so courageous. He became a warrior at a young age and killed the green flower snake alone. My little brother must be from a noble family. If he is a child of aristocratic family, Wang Rui still needs to be wary. After all, the only ones who can reach the level of warrior at this age are the children of aristocratic family who hold spiritual objects. You have recognized the wrong person. I am not a member of a noble family. If there is nothing else, I will leave first. Li Mu replied calmly. He is not a member of an aristocratic family. Wang Rui was ecstatic, and the smile on his face turned into a ferocious look. You are not a member of an aristocratic family, but you dare to reveal spiritual objects. I have to say that you are really brave, kid. Such a good thing is buried in your hands, why don't I help you keep it? Wang Rui suddenly grabbed Li Mu. However, before his hand touched Li Mu, a huge sense of crisis enveloped his whole body, and Wang Rui felt nervous for a moment. He wanted to take it back, but it was too late. PFF'd. An arm rotated 360 degrees in the air and fell to the ground. The other people were horrified when they saw this scene, and Wang Rui was in even more pain, wailing tragically. If I didn't have enough confidence, do you think I would show off my spiritual power so unscrupulously? If you want to be a hunter, you are not worthy. Wang Rui covered the wound and looked at Li Mu bitterly. Why are you still hanging around? Let's go together. This kid is just borrowing the spirit weapon in his hand. The 5 of us are enough to suppress him. Maybe the spiritual fruit is in his body. Hearing that Linguo and the others were spared, they angrily rushed towards Li Mu. A cold light flashed in Li Mu's eyes, and he drew his sword continuously, one after another, extremely fierce. The force of the sword was as fierce as a sudden storm, making it impossible to resist. In an instant, Li Mu had killed 3 people instantly. The other person turned around and ran away when he saw how fierce Li Mu was. Li Mu used the wandering dragon step, and instantly arrived in front of the man, stabbing with a sharp knife to pierce the man's chest. The man's eyes gradually disintegrated, and he fell to the ground and turned into a dead body. Congratulations on killing Zhao Lei, you will lose 3 years of cultivation. Congratulations on killing Li Si, you will lose 3 years of cultivation. Congratulations on killing XXX, you will lose 2 years of cultivation. Congratulations. Li Mu's aura continued to rise from 3-star warrior to 5-star warrior. After feeling Li Mu's aura, Wang Rui was even more frightened. Continuous broken mirrors. What the hell kind of monster is this? 5 stars for warriors. Wang Rui felt regretful in his heart. If he had known that Li Mu was such a monster, he would not have dared to provoke him even if he was beaten to death. When Li Mu's cold eyes fell on Wang Rui, his whole body trembled, as if he was in an ice cellar. Sir, have mercy on me. My lord, have mercy on me. I offended you for a moment, please have mercy on me. I give these things to you, please let me go. Wang Rui handed over all his savings over the years, including several extraordinary weapons, which were not as good as Lingwu but were good. But Li Mu was not merciful and cut the opponent's throat with a knife. Li Mu packed up the belongings of several people and looked up at the dusk. Night is coming, and the blood-refining jungle at night is much more dangerous than during the day. It's time to leave. After Li Mu came out of the blood-refining jungle, the people guarding the secret realm gave Li Mu a strange look. Is it my imagination? That little guy just gave me a sense of oppression. You feel it too. You too. The 2 of them looked away and shook their heads. It was probably their misunderstanding that a warrior boy could bring any pressure to them, but they. Li Mu was not in a hurry to go back, he came to the trading market. Although he is already a 5-star warrior, his savings are only 3 digits. If he doesn't make some money, he won't be able to pay the rent this month. Li Mu walked into a trading house. The first floor was filled with small items. The wolf skin of the thunder-marked wolf and the fangs of the green flower snake are both priceless treasures. Li Mu went up to the second floor without saying a word and walked into a room. I saw a middle-aged man sitting lazily in his seat, glancing at Li Mu from the corner of his eye. Perhaps it was because Li Mu was too young and didn't pay much attention. "Hello, I have something for sale." With that said, Li Mu placed the fangs of the green flower snake and the wolf skin of the thunder-marked wolf on the table. For an instant, the originally lazy middle-aged man was startled, staring in shock at the wolf skin and fangs in front of him. The fangs of the jade snake. The wolf skin of the thunder-marked wolf. These are real ferocious beasts. Lu Hua's eyes burned, his breathing became rapid, and he asked in a trembling voice, "Little brother, how did you get all these things?" He could also understand that the mural snake was only a low-level beast after all, and it was not difficult for ordinary warriors to deal with it. Is the young man in front of me a warrior? I was lucky enough to kill the mural snake, and I was lucky enough to encounter the thunder-striped wolf's wolfskin, which severely damaged him, so I killed him. Tisk tisk. This is enviable, but this statement is reasonable enough. The young man in front of him who was able to kill the jade flower snake was undoubtedly a warrior. The poisonous fangs of the green flower snake are 160,000, and the wolf skin of the thunder-marked wolf is 700,000. Hiss. 700,000. There are so many. No wonder it is said that once you become a warrior, money is just a number. I didn't expect the things on the beasts to be so valuable. Li Mu has no objection to this price. After all the procedures were completed, the money was deposited into Li Mu's bank card. Li Mu left the trading bank after receiving the bank text message. Young warrior, Lu Hua murmured alone in the room. It doesn't look like he is a child of aristocratic family, but he is a commoner genius, but why have I never heard of him? After returning home, Li Mu smiled from ear to ear. It is so easy for warriors to make money. Now that his strength has reached the 5-star warrior level, no one in the entire Qingcheng High School can surpass him. But Li Mu didn't want to expose his strength easily. He was obviously just a martial artist a few days ago and he became a 5-star warrior in the blink of an eye. It is estimated that anyone who knows this will suspect that Li Mu has an incredible opportunity. 1-star warrior is the level of cultivation he can currently expose, and his rapid improvement can be explained by his bloodline. In 1 week, the martial arts test is about to begin. This martial arts test is related to the election of the Martial Arts University. Galaxy Holy Courtyard. The Holy Academy with a history of thousands of years in Kyushu has given birth to many top powerhouses who stand tall in the starry sky. Entering the Galaxy Holy Court will become Li Mu's goal. It takes a week to improve as quickly as possible. It's best to change your bloodline as well. A few days later, Li Mu frequently entered the blood refining jungle and became an old acquaintance here. The guards guarding the secret realm were also very familiar with Li Mu, and sometimes Li Mu would even chat with the two after leaving. In the blood refining jungle, along with the shaking of the ground, a loud noise like a cannonball exploded. There was a roar, and a fire ape that was as huge as a hill and wrapped in flames looked at a young man angrily. Blazing ape, a second-level low-level ferocious beast. The strength is equivalent to the 9-star warrior. However, such a powerful beast was now covered in scars and looked at Li Mu in fear. Wouldn't it be better if you were stabbed by me? Why does it have to be so painful? The icy cold suddenly fell, and the flames on the blazing ape's body trembled. He roared angrily and refused to let Li Mu kill him. The huge fire fist fell from the sky like a meteorite, and the blazing flames came towards you. Li Mu performed the wandering dragon step technique in a strange way, with a vague vision of a dragon appearing. Yulongbu. Getting started. If anyone sees Li Mu's wandering dragon step reaching the entrance, your jaw will probably drop in shock. Looking at the entire JoJo, there are very few people at Li Mu's age who have reached the entry level of martial arts. Tear. Seal the throat with one knife. The huge head slowly shifted and fell from the neck, and the blazing ape's head rolled to the ground, with a look of reluctance in his eyes. Congratulations on killing the explosive flame ape. You will drop 3 cultivation levels and explosive flame bloodline. It is detected that the explosive blood can be fused. Please tell me if it is fused. Merge. A look of excitement appeared on Li Mu's face. After hunting for so many days, I finally lost blood. Once the 3 bloodlines merge, it will at least be a high-level bloodline. There is a way to explain his own strength. As Li Mu's aura rose, a fire seemed to be burning in his body. At this time, Li Mu's body temperature was close to 100 degrees, and his whole body was like a red-hot iron furnace. The feeling of heat all over his body made Li Mu extremely uncomfortable. He looked at the huge rock beside him and flew over with one step. A punch erupted, and flames roared. With a sound of boom, the boulder exploded and turned into rubble that filled the sky and fell around. In this state, Li Mu lasted for several minutes before gradually slowing down. Li Mu's body was covered in red spots, as if he had been boiled in boiling water. I didn't expect that fusing the explosive blood would make me feel so uncomfortable. I really don't want to experience it again. After merging the explosive bloodline, Li Mu also successfully reached the warrior 6 stars. The 6-star warrior, once this news comes out, it will probably shock the entire warriors in Qingcheng City. Although I can obtain bloodline, my cultivation qualifications have not changed. Bloodline is equivalent to some kind of increase. My cultivation qualifications are still the same garbage as before. It took Li Mu more than 10 years to go from a 5-star warrior to a 6-star warrior. More than 10 years. If it were any other genius, he would probably be able to become a grandmaster within a dozen years. The further you go in cultivation, the harder it will be to improve. Fortunately, there is no shortage of ferocious beasts in this secret realm. After resting for a while, Li Mu started fighting again in the blood-refining jungle. Fengli Martial Arts School. Zhang Shang's face was gloomy, and the murderous intent in his eyes was like the tide. The portrait of Zhang Song was placed on the morning platform in front of him. At this time, a man in black clothes with a sharp mouth and monkey cheeks walked in. Master Zhang, Xu Huang shouted respectfully, "Have you found it?" Xu Huang came to Zhang Shang and handed over a photo. The person in the photo was Li Mu. The young master, he was killed that day after he sent people to surround him. This man was a student of Qingcheng High School and he had some minor quarrels with the young master. Zhang Shang looked at the photo and asked in a low voice, "How strong is he?" Samurai 3 stars. 3 stars, you mean a man from the 3 stars, a martial arts disciple, killed my son and his men? No, no, no. Xu Huang quickly shook his head, cold sweat breaking out on his forehead. What I mean is that although Li Mu was not the murderer of the young master, he must be related to this matter. If you want to find out who killed the young librarian, you need to start with him. Quote. HMPH. Zhang Shang crumpled the photo into a ball and said coldly, "No matter who it is, as long as it is related to this matter, I will make him unable to live or die." After fighting for several days, Li Mu reached the 6-star peak of the warrior. If blood and martial arts are used, his strength will definitely far exceed that of a martial artist and can even rival a martial artist. Qingcheng High School. Li Mu entered the martial arts hall. Once a student becomes a martial artist, he or she can apply for 5th-level martial arts. Martial arts are divided into 1st level to 9th level, and beyond the 9th level is Earth-level martial arts. Above this, there is Heaven-level martial arts. It is said that if you study Heaven-level martial arts, it is not impossible for a martial artist to split mountains and break mountains. Teacher. Li Mu shouted to the teacher on duty and released his aura. The teacher wearing glasses was stunned and looked at Li Mu in front of him in disbelief. Warrior. Another student from their Qingcheng High School has broken through as a martial artist. The teacher wearing glasses was a little excited and took out a form and handed it to Li Mu. After filling in the above information, you can enter. Soon Li Mu wrote all his information on it. Li Mu stepped into the martial arts hall without saying a word. The glasses teacher looked at the information on the materials and couldn't help but murmured, "Why have I never heard of such an outstanding student?" Class 13, if I remember correctly, Lu Shuangyan is also a student in Class 13. Quote. A look of envy flashed across the eyes of the glasses teacher. Class 13 is about to show off. Stepping into the martial arts hall, a dazzling array of martial arts appeared in front of Li Mu's eyes. The heavenly prisoner's finger, thunder palm, crazy thunder tactics. These are all 5th-level martial arts. Although it is a 5th-level martial arts, these are not the most suitable for Li Mu at the moment. 9 Shock Fist. Suddenly, an inconspicuous martial arts in the corner attracted Li Emu's attention. 9 Shock Fist is a 5th level martial art. The 9th fist can shake the void and explode with sonic explosions. Its power is comparable to that of 6th level martial arts. Hiss. Li Mu took a breath of cold air, his eyes burning. It's you. The 9 Formation Fist introduction has harsh training conditions, but for Li Mu, any problem can be easily solved. Li Mu opened the 9 Shock Fist, and the training formulas poured into his mind like an enlightenment. Every punch can gain an increase. Is each punch stronger than the other? Amplification exercises, great stuff. Li Mu first caught some glimpses of Zhu Zhenquan and then put the martial arts back to its original position. In the blood-refining jungle, a sound exploded. Shock Fist. Boom. The void shook faintly, and a wolf-shaped ferocious beast suddenly flew out. The wound was bloody, as if it had been hit by a cannonball. Congratulations on killing the silver-clawed demon wolf and losing 3 years of cultivation. The power of the earthquake fist is more terrifying than I imagined. Li Mu sighed, suddenly frowned, and sighed helplessly when he looked at the twitching veins in his arm. If it weren't for his bloodline and physique that was different from ordinary people, he might not be able to lift his arm for several days after this punch. 3 years of cultivation have not allowed me to reach the peak of 6 stars. Could it be that I have reached a bottleneck? Li Mu muttered and continued walking towards the depths of the blood-refining jungle. The 1st and 2nd level ferocious beasts no longer pose a threat to Li Mu. Now it is estimated that only 3rd level ferocious beasts can bring some pressure to Li Mu. Kindness. Suddenly, Li Mu stopped and looked to the right. There were sounds of fighting. Li Mu heard the sound and walked over slowly. I saw a giant bear with silver hair all over its body and a body like a mountain, running madly towards a petite girl. The girl has long black hair that resembles a waterfall, and a pair of beautiful eyes that are as bright as gems. She held a long sword and released a cyclone like a tornado. Seeing this scene, Li Emu's pupils shrank slightly. There is no doubt that the long sword in the girl's hand is Lingwu, and its quality is much higher than the Lingwu he got from Zhang Song. A descendant of an aristocratic family. Only the children of aristocratic families possess such high-quality spiritual weapons. But it is a bit fanciful to want to rely on spiritual martial arts to fight against the giant bear. But, why is this girl's figure somewhat familiar? She seems to have seen her somewhere. The giant bear roared, releasing a huge power, and he was like a humanoid beast running rampant. The ground shook violently, and leaves rustled down. A punch like a boulder was thrown out, and there was an ear-splitting explosion. The girl's petite body flew out and fell heavily to the ground. Lu Shuangyan. Li Emu's eyes twitched, and then he saw the girl's appearance clearly. Lu Shuangyan, the beautiful squad leader of Class 13, is extremely talented and has reached the realm of a warrior at a young age. Unexpectedly, in this short period of time, Lu Shuangyan once again broke through and became a 2-star warrior. He is worthy of being a genius. Li Mu was a little envious. If he had such talent, he would have become a martial artist long ago. Lu Shuangyan climbed up in embarrassment, leaning on her sword to hold on. She came to the blood-refining jungle to hone her practical experience, but she didn't expect that she would be so unlucky to meet a giant bear that was comparable to a 5-star warrior. A fist like a boulder hit, and a strong wind roared. Is it about to end? Lu Shuangyan felt unwilling and closed her eyes. At this time, she was unable to fight anymore. Suddenly, a figure passed through the air. Shock Fist. Boom. At this moment, the void suddenly shook, and the giant bear seemed to have withstood a huge force, flew backwards, and hit the rock. The rock exploded with a bang, spreading countless cracks. The giant bear glanced at Li Mu unwillingly, tilted his head and lost his breath. Congratulations on killing the giant bear, losing 3 years of cultivation, and gaining the giant bloodline. Great bloodline. Li Mu felt happy, but then he felt the majestic power surge inside his body. This feeling, I am about to break through. Li Mu glanced at Lu Shuangyan, used Dragon Walk and disappeared into the jungle. When Lu Shuangyan opened her eyes, she was shocked by the scene in front of her. The giant bear is dead. Who is it? Lu Shuangyan looked around but didn't find any shadows, and a trace of disappointment flashed in her eyes. She slowly walked towards the strength of the giant bear, and gasped when she saw the bloody wound. Kill with one strike, at least a 7-star warrior. Not only is the giant bear's brute strength astonishing, its body is even more powerful. In addition to its advanced cultivation, it is probably also capable of quite a lot of martial arts to be able to inflict such wounds. Lu Shuangyan glanced at the silent woods around her, a flash of perseverance flashed in her beautiful eyes. I will definitely find you. At this time, an invisible wave surged out of a cave in the blood-refining jungle. Li Mu clenched his fists excitedly, feeling the indescribable power. 7-star warrior. Who would have thought that a 7-star warrior was still a 3-star warrior just a week ago? Scale bloodline, brute force bloodline, madness bloodline, explosive bloodline, giant power bloodline. Now his combat power is at least the level of a martial artist. Not even a 1-star warrior could hope to get an advantage from him. I'm going to school for the martial arts test tomorrow. Li Mu was full of confidence in himself. Tomorrow's martial arts test will be the first, I am bound to win. After leaving the blood-refining jungle, Li Mu passed through a deserted alley alone. At this moment, a few more figures appeared in the quiet alley. Li Mu glanced at several people without changing his expression. A warrior, it seems that I haven't offended anyone. Boy, please come with us. The leader of the 2 warriors said with a sneer. Li Mu raised his eyebrows and said calmly, what if I say no? Then don't blame us for being rude. Brothers, let's do it. Several warriors were about to take action, but in an instant, a cold wind roared out from around them. Yu Longbu, who was proficient in the realm, didn't give them any chance to react. Bang bang bang. The screams of several people echoed in the alley one after another, and the seriously injured people looked at Li Mu in disbelief. How is it possible? He is actually proficient in body skills. What kind of monster are you riding on a horse? The information is wrong. This kid is not only a warrior, but also a high-level warrior with considerable strength. Didn't the owner of the museum say that what he needs to bring back is just a kid in the martial arts realm? How did he suddenly become a warrior? Moreover, mastering and proficient in body movements at this age is a talent comparable to that of children from aristocratic families. Li Mu's eyes were cold and he looked down at the few people indifferently. Tell me who sent you here. The faces of several people instantly turned the color of pig liver, and they felt extremely aggrieved. But when they touched Li Mu's cold gaze, several people understood it immediately. The young man in front of me is definitely not a good person. Even if they didn't say anything, the young people in front of them would definitely kill them. Terrible. Several people unanimously told Li Mu Zhongshang's order. Fengali Martial Arts School. Zhongshang has already noticed it. But what's the use of realizing it? Zhongshang is just a 9-star warrior. The same goes for Li Mu. In terms of combat power, Li Mu is even comparable to Wu Fu. Even if Zhongshang is a martial artist, Li Mu is not afraid of him. Several people thought that Li Mu would let them go if they told the truth. However, a flash of sword light flashed through, and everyone only felt a tearing sensation in their necks. They stared at Li Mu with wide eyes and confusion. How could he be so cruel? Why are they still refusing to let them go even though they have confessed everything? Li Mu looked at the corpses with no emotion in his eyes. The blazing flames in his hands burned, and the flames fell on the corpse, which instantly burned. After the body was completely reduced to ashes, Li Mu left safely. The next day, early morning, Li Mu changed his clothes and entered the campus in high spirits. The martial arts test started today. When he entered the class, everyone's eyes turned to him. At this time, Lu Shuangyan, who had been sitting in her seat, noticed Li Mu. For some reason, the Li Mu in front of her gave her a very different feeling. It seems that some kind of transformation has occurred. Brother Mu, here. Shen Lei waved his hand. In Qingcheng High School, Shen Lei is one of Li Mu's few friends. His qualifications are slightly better than Li Mu's, and his current level is at the 6-star martial arts level. This kind of talent is considered to be average. As long as there are no accidents, there will be no problem in becoming a warrior. It is not impossible to even step into the martial arts. Shen Lei stared at Li Mu carefully and asked in a low voice, Brother Mu has achieved a breakthrough in strength. Li Mu raised his eyebrows in surprise, then nodded. Luckily there's been some progress. No wonder I said you look different from usual today. Don't believe me when I say it. You can give me an invisible pressure now. Li Mu smiled and said nothing. He is already a 7-star warrior, so it would be strange if he cannot bring pressure to the warrior disciples. Li Mu glanced at Zhang Song's empty seat from the corner of his eye. I don't know if the school has investigated Zhang Song, but Li Mu will not be afraid even if the investigation leads to suspicion on him. As long as he shows strong strength, the school will naturally protect him. After all, no one wants to offend a young warrior, or even a genius who can become a master in the future. Soon, the head teacher of Class 13 stepped into the classroom, and the noisy classroom instantly became quiet. Zhang Li's eyes fell on Li Mu. He paused for a few seconds and then said, Li Mu, please come out with me. Kindness. Everyone looked at Li Mu strangely. Did Li Mu commit a crime? Demon Head Zhang asked to talk to Li Mu alone. Li Mu walked out of the classroom calmly. Arriving at Zhang Li's office, he looked Li Mu up and down and asked suspiciously, You have broken through the warrior? Yes. Li Mu nodded, exuding his own aura. Zhang Li's pupils shrank, feeling a little surprised. A true warrior. But, you must know that Li Mu was a 3-star warrior just last week. How could he become a warrior in the blink of an eye? Even those talented disciples have never had this kind of speed. Could it be that Li Mu is a genius himself but has been hiding his talent? Or maybe Li Mu had some adventure. There is no shortage of natural and earthly treasures in the world of martial arts. You must know that there are countless mysterious secret realms around the world. In these secret realms, there are terrifying beasts and rare treasures. But even if there is a chance encounter, it is impossible for the strength to soar to such an extent. Zhang Li looked at Li Mu and asked, Li Mu, if I remember correctly, you were a 3-star martial arts disciple last week. How come you have become a martial artist in the blink of an eye? Without saying a word, Li Mu lit up flames on his hands, and the temperature in the office rose rapidly. Seeing this, Zhang Li couldn't sit still. Bloodline. Zhang Li stared at the flames igniting on Li Mu's hand in shock. Teacher, can you explain now? Li Mu said calmly. Gulu. Zhang Li swallowed and looked directly at Li Mu. He actually awakened his bloodline. No wonder he became a warrior in a short period of time. This can probably be explained. It's developed. In his class there was not only Lu Shuangyan but also a genius like Li Mu who had awakened his bloodline. Zhang Li glanced at the time and saw that it was still half an hour before the martial arts test started. You come with me. Li Mu followed Zhang Li to a venue and entered a room in the venue where precision instruments were placed. This is. Li Mu looked at the equipment in the room in confusion. Zhang Li explained at this time, this is a place dedicated to bloodline testing. Since you have bloodline, you naturally have to test the bloodline level. The instrument will detect it automatically if you put a drop of blood on it. Zhang Li guessed that Li Mu could reach the level of warrior in such a short period of time, at least with a high-level bloodline. It would be great if their Qingcheng High School had a student with high-level bloodline. Li Mu bit his finger and a drop of blood fell on the instrument. A dazzling purple light instantly filled the entire room. Instantly, Zhang Li showed a look of crazy excitement. Purple light. This. A few words were clearly displayed on the instrument, Earth-level bloodline. OMG. It turned out to be an Earth-level bloodline. Warriors with high-level bloodlines have a high chance of becoming a master in the future. As for the Earth-level bloodline above the high-level bloodline, as long as they do not perish, they will definitely be able to enter the master realm in the future. A real dragon appears in their Qingcheng High School. For a moment, Zhang Li was in shock and could not recover. It turned out to be an Earth-level bloodline. Li Mu was a little surprised that the fusion of the 4 bloodlines actually made his bloodline reach the Earth level. It's incredible. In this way, it is not impossible that the power of his bloodline can even reach the heavenly level in the future, and even the legendary God level. God level bloodline. Thinking of this, Li Mu's eyes flashed with enthusiasm. At this time, Zhang Li looked at Li Mu with eyes filled with passion and flames, as if he was seeing the destined person. The scorching gaze made Li Mu shudder, and his neck couldn't help but shrink. Earthly bloodline. You must report it, and you will definitely be reused by the school when the time comes. And the most important thing is to have a good relationship with Li Mu. Zhongli himself is only an 8-star warrior, and his limit in this life is that of a martial artist. But Li Mu is different. As long as nothing happens to him, he will become a master in the future. At this time, Zhongli felt a little lucky. Fortunately, he had not offended Li Mu before or given him a bad impression. If something like this really happened, thinking about being cared about by a future grandmaster would probably wake me up with nightmares every night. Earth-level bloodline, Li Mu. You are definitely the most dazzling genius in our Qingcheng High School. After this martial arts test is over, I will report it to the school's senior management and try my best to get some resources for you. Zhongli said in a trembling voice with excitement. When Li Mu heard this, he naturally understood that Zhongli wanted to curry favor with him, even though his bloodline could not improve his cultivation qualifications. But it is only a matter of time before he has the system to become a master. In the future, he may even have master-level combat power without reaching the master level. Student, thank you teacher. Li Mu politely thanked him. After leaving the guild hall, the martial arts test was about to begin, and Li Mu immediately returned to class. Zhongli regained his original composure and organized the students to go to the martial arts test location. Brother Mu, what exactly does Demon Head Zhang want to see you for? Shen Lei on the side asked curiously. It's nothing, just some questions about practice. Li Mu said casually. Some people around him were a little disdainful after hearing this. Regarding the issue of cultivation, your qualifications, Li Mu, are just like that. Whether you can break through as a warrior in this life is a question. It was nothing more than being scolded by Demonic Bell and finding any reason to deal with Shen Lei. Soon, the students participating in the martial arts test gathered on the huge playground. The senior officials of Qingcheng High School couldn't help but smile when they saw the energetic students. I hope there will be some good prospects this year. Yes, our Qingcheng High School has not had a genius famous in Kyushu for a long time. If there is no good talent, the title of our ancient high school will be taken away by others. After hearing this, several leaders showed solemn expressions. Once the title is removed, Qingcheng High School's training resources will be greatly reduced. This is what none of them want to see. I hope this martial arts test can bring them some surprises. At this time, everyone was almost gathered, and suddenly there was a middle-aged man standing in the void with the wind at his feet. That is, flying across the sky. Could it be that he is the Grand Master? The appearance of the middle-aged man instantly caused an uproar. Once he stepped into the master's shoes, he would be a figure like Mount Tian Beidou, and he would be admired wherever he went. Not a Grand Master. Li Mu squinted his eyes and looked at the middle-aged man. He should have used some kind of martial arts to stay in the void for a short time, but the middle-aged man in front of him was indeed very powerful, at least a 5-star martial artist or above. When the middle-aged man sat down in his seat, the other leaders of the school shouted in awe, "Principal!" It turned out to be their principal. It seems that he is not a master. Chao Wenwei smiled and said nothing, watching the gathered students announce the rules. This martial arts test is different from the past. In the past, students fought with each other, but this time the martial arts test uses puppets. A puppet with a height of 2 meters appeared in the eyes of the students. Is it a Yuanli puppet? The martial arts test is divided into strength test, body skill test and martial arts test. Students can challenge warriors to puppets in the warrior realm. The upper limit of the puppet's strength is a puppet with 3-star warrior strength. The strength test is rank based on the strength of defeating the puppet. As for the physical skills test and martial arts test, there will be other arrangements. After hearing the rules, Li Mu didn't pay too much attention. The upper limit was only a puppet of the strength of a 3-star warrior. This was not difficult for Li Mu. At this time, Lu Shuangyan noticed Li Mu's calm expression. Why is he so calm and confident? Soon the martial arts test will begin. There is only one chance for this martial arts test. If you fail, you will be eliminated. Therefore, many students do not dare to choose Yuanli puppets that are too powerful. Brother Mu, I'm leaving first, come on. Shen Lei waved towards Li Mu and went to choose the Yuanli puppet. Just when Li Mu was about to go, suddenly the noise not far away attracted Li Mu's attention. I saw Lu Shuangyan wearing white clothes, with her black hair flying like a waterfall. The afterimage of Lu Shuangyan during the assessment appeared in various places. Introductory body skills. Li Mu could tell at a glance that Lu Shuangyan had reached the level of entry into body skills. With such speed at the entry level, I am afraid it is a high-level body and martial arts skill. He is worthy of being a genius from a noble family. A warrior-level Yuanli puppet should not be difficult for Lu Shuangyan. Except for Lu Shuangyan's accident, the other students who took the assessment failed not long after. The defeated students murmured absently. Obviously my strength is much stronger than the Yuanli puppet, why do I still fail? Why on earth is this? Li Mu glanced around and saw that these students had very poor fighting consciousness. They thought the puppets were just puppets, but they didn't expect that they had such rich fighting consciousness. Those who could create Yuanli puppets were at least Grandmaster level figures. Soon Li Mu came to the puppet of a 3-star warrior. Teacher, I want to challenge this puppet, Li Mu said calmly. People around him heard the sound and came to challenge the 3-star warrior's puppet. Where did this ruthless person come from? Li Mu, is it him? He wants to challenge the 3-star warrior puppet. Ha 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 ha, could it be that he is out of his mind? Let alone a puppet of a martial artist, even if it is a puppet of a 4-star martial artist, Li Mu will probably fail. No, brother, are you so exaggerated? Hey, I told you that he was a 3-star martial artist in the test last week, and this time he will only be a 4-star martial artist. Do you think he is crazy? What, just a 4-star martial artist? The people around were stunned for a moment. A 4-star warrior challenged a 3-star warrior puppet. I'm afraid my brother is sick. I'm afraid he is trying to attract other people's attention. It's so boring. I didn't expect there are people like this in our school. Many people ridiculed Li Mu hotly and coldly, and at this time, the teacher's face did not look good. The school martial arts test is not just for you to play around with. If you keep messing around, don't blame me for disqualifying you from the martial arts test. The teacher scolded sternly. At this moment, Li Mu's warrior aura came out, and the teacher's expression froze instantly. The hot and cold sarcastic voices around them also disappeared, and Li Mu's classmates seemed to have their vocal cords stuck, unable to make any sound. Warrior. Feng Gang stood up suddenly. Teacher, are you ready now? Li Mu was not angry, but said calmly. How is that possible? People who are familiar with Li Mu wonder if they are dreaming. The former crane tail suddenly became a warrior. Became a genius comparable to Lu Shuangyan. Impossible. Li Mu must have taken forbidden elixirs. Teacher, he was really only a 3-star warrior before. Feng Gang's cold eyes fell on the man, and he said coldly, do you think there are any forbidden elixirs that can make a 3-star warrior become a warrior in one leap? Facing the teacher's question, the man was speechless for a moment. There are indeed forbidden elixirs in this world, but elixirs that can make people become warriors in such a short period of time are unheard of. Are you really sure? Why don't you challenge the puppet with the strength of a 1-star warrior first? Feng Gang didn't want to see a genius like Li Mu challenge such a difficult puppet in case he failed. That would have a great impact on Li Mu entering the martial arts academy. I will challenge him, Li Mu said calmly. Feng Gang made way to let Li Mu enter the assessment center. Li Mu looked at the Yuanli puppet in front of him, his expression calm and unwavering. Although the Yuanli puppet looked like a mountain, it did not put any pressure on him. At this time, the originally dull eyes of the Yuanli puppet gradually became brighter. The puppet looked at the puppet and roared angrily, exuding the power of a 3-star warrior. In an instant, the people around him couldn't help but take a step back in fear. Is this the Yuanli puppet with the strength of a 3-star warrior? It's really scary. This power made it difficult for them to even breathe. If they could have a puppet like this, wouldn't it be? The body of the Yuanli puppet made a mechanical interlacing sound, wisps of steam spurted out, and the huge fist roared in carrying punch pressure. Li Mu was unmoved, took a deep breath, and the majestic power roared out. Shocking fist. One punch shakes the void. Bang. There was a sudden explosion in the void, and the terrifying power touched the Yuanli puppet's fist. Gotcha. An unexpected scene happened. Many cracks spread out in the Yuanli puppet's fist, and in an instant, the indestructible fist exploded. Li Mu wasted no time and jumped several feet high, holding a short blade in his hand. A cold light passed by. After everyone reacted, Li Mu had already appeared behind the Yuanli puppet. At this time, the Yuanli puppet's eyes gradually dimmed, and its body leaned back vertically. With a sound of boom, smoke and dust rolled up and filled the surrounding area. Whether it was Feng Gang or the surrounding students, they all stared at Li Mu in shock, their eyes full of horror. Defeated the Yuanli puppet in less than a minute. Everyone's scalps felt numb. This kind of strength must be at least that of a 5-star warrior. Li Mu reached the warrior 5-star. Is this possible? Feng Gang looked ecstatic and looked extremely excited. Sent. Their Qingcheng High School has a dragon. If you look at other high schools, you may not be able to find anyone who can match Li Mu with such strength. Moreover, Li Mu seemed to be able to do it with ease, and defeating the Yuanli puppet was not his full strength. Li Mu put away his blade and glanced at the people he had coldly mocked before. Suddenly, a few people trembled and shrank their necks in fear. The others hurriedly left here for fear that Li Mu would remember their faces. Feng Gang picked up a piece of paper and wrote S in Li Mu Yuanli's puppet assessment. S. The best result. Feng Gang looked at Li Mu and asked, Li Mu, how many stars are you a warrior now? Li Mu hesitated for a while, and finally said conservatively, Samsung. Hiss. 3-star warrior. Feng Gang took a breath and looked at Li Mu enviously. This is Tianzhao. 3-star warrior. For most people, 3-star warrior is their endpoint. Li Mu left the puppet test and went to the location of the body test. It won't be long before this little guy will be famous in Qingcheng. With his strength, he doesn't know if he can enter the Galaxy Holy Courtyard. Quote, Galaxy Holy Courtyard, the holy land created by the ancestors of the human race, is the holy land that countless martial arts practitioners dream of. If their Qingcheng High School has a student who enters the Galaxy Holy Academy, he will probably skyrocket from now on. Not long after, the news that Li Mu defeated the Yuanli puppet spread quickly. Especially those in Class 13 who were familiar with Li Mu felt extremely ridiculous when they first heard the news. But when they checked the rankings and Li Mu's name was dazzlingly ranked first, they were instantly confused. Shen Lei was stunned for a long time after learning the news. Brother Mu defeated the 3-star warrior realm and got the puppet. I am not dreaming. At this time, Lu Shuangyan, who was heading to the body testing site, was even more surprised when she found out. Wasn't Li Mu only a 4-star martial artist last week? How did you defeat the Yuanli puppet of the 3-star warrior realm? She is a 2-star warrior, and she barely defeated the Yuanli puppet with the strength of a 2-star warrior, and a large part of the reason for this was the high-level martial arts he had learned. Otherwise, she might not be able to defeat the Yuanli puppet of warrior 2-star. Li Mu, what exactly happened to you? Lu Shuangyan quickly rushed to the place where her body skills were tested. At this time, Li Mu had already entered the venue, and the physical examination was in a closed environment. At a glance, the assessment room was filled with black guns. Many students felt a chill when looking at these cold weapons. However, the bullets used in the test were only rubber bullets and would not cause substantial harm to the students. The score of the test is time. Students can choose the number of guns, students can choose 30 guns, and the passing score of the test is the goal. The minimum selection criterion is 8. Many students feel that the physical skills test is useless at all, but when it comes to playing, it doesn't take long for them to panic. Li Mu took a look at the other rooms in progress and observed the speed and density of the bullets. With his current level of body skills, it is not difficult to pass the 30-gun body skills test. Li Mu finally chose the body skill test with the highest limit. The teacher in charge looked at Li Mu with a look of expectation in his eyes. A genius who can defeat the Yuanli puppet of a 3-star warrior, what about his attainments in body and martial arts? Li Mu stepped into the room and took a deep breath. The countdown proceeds. 3, 2, 1. Bang bang bang. Harsh gunshots burst out, and a hail of bullets hit Li Mu like an overwhelming force. Everyone held their breath when they saw this scene. And at this moment, Li Mu moved. The phantom of the wandering dragon appeared, and the shadow of the dragon lingered at Li Mu's feet, easily dodging the dense hail of bullets. Seeing this scene, the teacher's eyes widened and he looked at Li Mu, who was like a fish in water inside, in disbelief, and said in a hoarse voice. Mastering the realm of wandering dragon steps. Mastering the state of movement. Lu Shuangyan, who had just arrived, was completely stunned. A pair of beautiful eyes stared straight at Li Mu in the assessment room. Li Mu's expression was natural, and he was extremely calm in the face of the dense hail of bullets in front of him. For ordinary people, such a dense rain of bullets makes it extremely difficult for them to hold on for 3 seconds, but for Li Mu, there is no pressure at all. At this time, the timer has reached 40 seconds, and everyone's mouths opened wide when they saw this scene. For a moment, the entire venue was silent, and you could hear a pin drop. Not long after, Li Mu glanced at the time above and murmured, 1 minute is enough. Li Mu stopped. The rubber bullet hit Li Mu's body and the gun stopped firing. After walking out of the room, Li Mu paused and looked at the faces as if they had seen a ghost. He was stunned for a moment. Teacher, what's wrong with you? Li Mu waved his hand in front of the dazed teacher. At this time, the teacher came back to his senses and looked at Li Mu in front of him in shock. He said in a hoarse voice, "When did you reach the level of mastery in your body skills?" "I had a lucky breakthrough in the past few days." "Lucky? Everyone around me is in tears. Is it possible that my eldest brother is lucky enough to be able to practice his body skills to a mastery level?" If body movement and martial arts are the most difficult to practice, some people who can even get started are considered geniuses. Evildoer. A complete monster. The teacher filled in Li Mu's grades tremblingly. Li Mu calmly left the venue and headed to the martial arts test location. When Li Mu left, the originally silent venue suddenly became as noisy as a vegetable market. Oh my god. Master the realm of Yulongbu. This horse-riding monster came out of nowhere. Kneel down before the great god. There is such a monster in our school, how come we have never heard of him? Haha, Zhuang Ziqi claims to be the #1 genius. I'm afraid he's not even worthy of carrying his shoes in front of this big shot. The master of body skills is indeed a monster, but Zhuang Ziqi seems to have made a breakthrough again. I can't say for sure which of them is stronger or weaker. What? Zhuang Ziqi has made a breakthrough again? Doesn't that mean he is already a 3-star warrior? Hiss. Everyone around him gasped. Hearing the news, Lu Shuangyan felt extremely stressed. It was already stressful enough to have Zhuang Ziqi weighing on her head. Now comes another Li Mu. How did he achieve mastery of the realm's body skills? The Yuanli puppet who can easily kill a 3-star warrior in an instant may be stronger than a 3-star warrior, but it's not who is stronger between him and Zhuang Ziqi. His body skills are so monster. I wonder what Li Mu's attainments are in martial arts. After Li Mu left the guild hall, he happened to pass by a handsome student next to him who looked like a handsome young man. Zhuang Ziqi was surrounded by famous beauties from Qingcheng High School, and these people were all Zhuang Ziqi's little fans. At this time, Zhuang Ziqi was enjoying everything. In his opinion, he was the first in the martial arts test, and no one could surpass him. Although an unknown guy named Li Mu appeared halfway, Zhuang Ziqi didn't care. This is because his body skills have reached the peak of entry level. When he was in high school, there were only a handful of people in Kyushu who were able to learn body skills in high school. However, just like that, a sound from around him made Zhuang Ziqi's expression change. Did you just see that? Is it possible for a human to master the physical skills of a realm? That guy can probably be compared with the monsters in the Galaxy Holy Courtyard. Mastering the state of body skills. How is that possible? The little fans around Zhuang Ziqi were also stunned, and then joked, these people really dare to say that they are proficient in the realm of movement. If there really are those Ziqi brothers. Quote, that's right. Brother Ziqi, don't pay attention to them, these people are just trying to influence you. Perfect state of movement. To be honest, he didn't believe it either. But there seemed to be more than one person discussing. The flustered Zhuang Ziqi glanced at the ranking list, and his face instantly froze. Li Mu's dazzling name was ranked first, and at the same time, it was also added that Yulongbu has mastered the state of movement. It's Li Mu again. Where did this guy come from? Zhuang Ziqi's face was extremely gloomy, his body skills were in a perfect state. Looking at the entire Kyushu kingdom, it would be difficult to find anyone who could compare with Li Mu. Brother Ziqi, what's wrong with you? The little fans beside Zhuang Ziqi all came over, and when they saw it, they all had dull expressions on their faces. It's actually true. Brother Mu, have you really become a warrior? At this time, Shenlei had found Li Mu and shouted with a trembling voice. Li Mu took out his ears and nodded helplessly. With luck, I got a breakthrough. The corner of Shen Lei's mouth twitched slightly, and he said resentfully, we agreed to work together, but Brother Mu, you secretly got involved with me, it's really not fun. Li Mu heard Shen Lei's complaining tone and couldn't laugh or cry for a moment. It's not that he wants to involve Shen Lei. If he hadn't awakened the golden finger, he might still be a 3-star martial artist now. After all, it took him a year of cultivation to break through to the 4th-star martial artist. Li Mu and Shen Lei entered the martial arts assessment point together. The martial arts assessment is different from other assessments. In this martial arts assessment, the teacher acts as the student's opponent. On the one hand, it is to test the student's strength and test their martial arts skills, and on the other hand, it is to guide some students who lack combat experience. At this time, many students left the assessment site in despair. Let us compete with the teacher. Isn't this deliberately bullying us? The teachers are all warriors who have been famous for a long time, and none of them has fallen below 3 stars. How can we defeat the teacher with this kind of strength? Don't worry, the assessment didn't ask us to beat the teacher. As long as we perform well enough, the teacher will give us good grades. Li Mu glanced around and suddenly stopped on a person. Hey, Brother Mu. Hey, isn't that Teacher Zhang Li? Teacher Zhang Li is the assessment teacher for the martial arts test. Li Mu strode over. Seeing this situation, Shen Lei's expression changed slightly. No way, Brother Mu is looking for the demon Lord Zongzong. Zhang Li noticed the figure approaching Rang, and his expression changed slightly when he saw clearly that it was Li Mu. Teacher, are you free now? Li Mu looked at Zhang Li and asked. Zhang Li nodded. Do I want to choose to compete with me? Yes, Li Mu nodded. Zhang Li is one of the few 8-star warriors among the assessment teachers, which is why Li Mu chose Zhang Li. Then come with me. Zhang Li took Li Mu to the assessment arena. Let's get started. Li Mu looked at the calm Zhang Li and reminded him, if the teacher doesn't concentrate, the battle will be over soon. Kindness. Zhang Li raised his eyebrows. Before he had a chance to react, wind blew under Li Mu's feet and the phantom of the dragon appeared. This is proficient in the state of movement. Not good. A violent wind swept over, making Zhang Li's whole body tense. A golden light enveloped Zhang Li. Clang. Like the sound of a bell ringing, Li Mu looked at Zhang Li in surprise from the other corner. A golden bell. Cold sweat broke out on Zhang Li's forehead. If he hadn't reacted quickly enough, he might have flown out of the ring. At this time, he looked at Li Mu with shock. Is this a genius with Earth-level bloodline? So scary. There are only a handful of warriors who can master the realm of martial arts. This requires not only cultivation talent, but also heaven-defying martial arts talent. Li Mu is just a warrior who has mastered the body technique to the point of mastery. Before giving Zhang Li a chance, Li Mu launched another attack. Li Mu's momentum was majestic, and he punched out one punch after another. The rumbling sound shook the void, and the attack was fierce, like a mountain torrent and a tsunami that made people unable to resist. Zhang Li, an 8-star warrior, had no way to check and balance Li Mu. Shen Lei in the audience was stunned and rubbed his eyes in disbelief. I don't know how to look at flowers. Wandering dragon steps. The sharp roar of the wind was like the roar of a dragon. Shock fist. There was an earth-shattering roar, and fluctuations in the void were visible to the naked eye. This explosion made many students shrink their necks. A figure flew out from the ring. Zhang Li fell down from the ring in a daze, his eyes filled with fear. Shocking fist. The ultimate shocking fist. Chapter 11. Zhang Li screamed in horror. That power made even him, an 8-star warrior, feel like he was about to be torn apart just now. Martial arts at the entry level. There was silence all around, and everyone looked at Li Mu with the same eyes as Zhang Li. Shenfa in the proficient realm and martial arts in the entry-level realm. OMG, why should they be in the same school as such a monster? At the same time, a certain room in the clubhouse. The principal, Li Mu, is incredible. He has mastered the body technique at such a young age, and even mastered the shaking fist to the basic level. Maybe this time our school can really produce a student who enters the Galaxy Holy Academy. The owner on the side said excitedly, looking at Li Mu on the screen with particularly fiery eyes. Chao Wenwei looked away and took a deep breath. It is not easy to enter the Galaxy Holy Courtyard. He does have the capital to enter the Galaxy Holy Courtyard with his earthly bloodline. But, don't forget, it would be extremely difficult for Li Mu to enter the Galaxy Holy Courtyard without any background. Quote. The director looked troubled, and his excitement gradually disappeared. Those who can enter the Galaxy Holy Courtyard are all monsters from the Kyushu Kingdom. Having Earth-level bloodline is nothing in the Galaxy Holy Courtyard. Unless Li Mu shows other talents. However, talent in martial arts may be Li Mu's advantage. Chao Wenwei stared at Li Mu. Maybe this child can bring some surprises to people. Everyone in the venue gradually came to their senses and looked at Li Mu blankly. It's a lie. The Bell Devil is an 8-star warrior. Li Mu actually defeated the Bell Devil. Could it be cheating? It shouldn't be possible. If Li Mu cheats in the martial arts test, even our Qingcheng High School will not be able to bear the consequences of cheating. Doesn't that mean, Gulu? People who usually sneered at Li Mu shuddered because they were afraid that Li Mu would settle the score with them. Shen Lei looked at Li Mu with admiration. Brother Mu, so handsome. Li Mu exhaled a breath, and it didn't seem like he had to put in much effort. He himself is a 7-star warrior. Although his realm is not as good as Zhongli's, his strength is definitely above Zhongli's. With his proficient body movements and entry-level shaking fists, no ordinary martial artist would be his opponent and defeat Zhongli. It's just a trivial matter. First place in the martial arts test. It's mine. Li Mu came down from the ring and walked to Zhongli. Is the teacher okay? It's okay. Zhongli shook his head with a wry smile, and suddenly felt a sense of frustration in his heart when he looked at the students in front of him. Tianzhao is always dazzling. With such terrifying strength at such an age, he couldn't even imagine Li Mu's future achievements. The people around looked at Li Mu in awe. This is the world of warriors. As long as you are strong enough, you will be feared. In the world of martial arts, the strong are still respected. At this time, Lu Shuangyan's beautiful eyes looking at Li Mu from a distance changed. The sonic boom was somewhat similar to what she and he heard in the blood-refining jungle. Could it be that Li Mu saved her at that time? If Li Mu can defeat Zhongli, then his strength is at least an 8-star warrior. If he is, it is indeed possible. Lu Shuangyan slowly walked towards Li Mu. Li Mu. A soft voice attracted the attention of many people. It's Lu Shuangyan. Lu Shuangyan's appearance attracted many people. Many people looked at Lu Shuangyan with admiration. Lu Shuangyan. Li Mu looked at Lu Shuangyan doubtfully. Not to mention that Li Mu was obsessed with practicing and didn't have much contact with him on weekdays, but now taking a closer look at Lu Shuangyan's appearance and figure are really fascinating. After all, you can't see your feet when you lower your head. This is a role in the human world. Li Mu, I have something to tell you. Can you come with me alone? Lu Shuangyan stared at Li Mu and said. Click. Countless hearts were broken. No, goddess. Li Mu followed Lu Shuangyan to a deserted place, and he probably guessed what the other party was going to say. Lu Shuangyan looked at Li Mu and asked, were you the one who saved me in the blood-refining jungle? It's me. Li Mu replied calmly. It's really you. Lu Shuangyan was not sure at first, but she was extremely surprised when she heard Li Mu admit it. I didn't expect that you have been hiding yourself for so many years. You should be the first genius of Qingcheng High School. The first genius, what's the use of those false names? Li Mu turned his back and looked at the endless stars. Only true strength is the foundation. The number one genius is just a false name. Only when you stand at the top can you be called number one. For a time, Lu Shuangyan was attracted to Li Mu unconsciously. You saved me, and I want to repay you. What do you want? As long as it's within my reach. Li Mu looked at Lu Shuangyan and said, martial arts. I want martial arts. How many grades? How many products can you give me? Li Mu asked. Lu Shuangyan hesitated and said, 8th rank. 8th grade martial arts. He is indeed worthy of being a descendant of a noble family. All 8th grade martial arts can be provided. Then let's go to the 8th grade. If possible, I hope it is martial arts related to sword skills. Li Mu reminded. As for your swordsmanship, I'll pay attention to it. The two of them chatted for half an hour without knowing it, and those who were waiting anxiously saw that half an hour had passed. Even more disheartened. It's over, their goddess has completely become Li Mu's. At this time, Zhuang Ziqi walked out of the venue, looking at the people who were lost and confused. What happened to these people? At this time, Li Mu and Lu Shuangyan happened to walk out together. Lu Shuangyan, wait, who is that kid? Seeing Li Mu walking side by side with Lu Shuangyan, Zhuang Ziqi suddenly became jealous. Labor and management wanted to kill that boy, but he dared to be so close to Shuangyan. If you have time, come and sit at my house, Lu Shuangyan said with a smile. When these words fell into the ears of the people around him, everyone was instantly petrified. It's time to meet the parents. Grass. Zhuang Ziqi's eyes were filled with murderous intent. Die. I must let that boy die. Li Mu seemed to notice something and looked along the cold light. Zhuangzi period. What happened to that guy? Could it be? Li Mu's mouth twitched slightly. What a scheming woman. Actually using him as a shield. Hey, forget it. It's just Zhuang Ziqi, and the family behind him is in some trouble. A martial arts family. Sooner or later, he will make the martial arts family surrender at his feet. One day passed and the assessment was completely over. When the school announced the rankings, Li Mu's unfamiliar name appeared in the eyes of the whole school. Li Mu, who is he? Why haven't you heard of it? Are there any such geniuses in our school? The number one is not Zhuang Ziqi. Is there something shady about the school? Holy shit, look, that Li Mu actually defeated a puppet with the strength of a 3-star warrior, and it only took less than a minute. Mastery level body skills, entry level martial arts. This Li Mu's strength is so terrifying. Where did this monster come from? On the other side, Li Mu looked calm and didn't feel anything about the gazes around him. It is enough for him to be the first in the martial arts test to be nominated for the Galaxy Holy Academy. As for whether he can be admitted, it depends on the potential he shows. Galaxy Holy Courtyard. I must enter. For Holy Academy nomination, only the most talented and outstanding people in high school are eligible. Nomination means submitting your name and will not prompt you to join the Holy Academy. Rather, the Holy Court will pay attention to you. Whether you can enter or not depends on your personal performance and talent. After the martial arts test, Li Mu returned home alone. The moment he closed the door, several black figures flashed across the room. Waves of sword light flashed through, blood flowers bloomed, and several people stared with eyes wide open. They didn't understand why Li Mu reacted so quickly. They are all 6-star warriors. Congratulations on killing Wang Shen and losing 2 years of cultivation. Congratulations on killing Lei Hu and losing 2 years of cultivation. Congratulations on your kill. Li Mu's aura gradually increased, reaching the peak of the 7 stars of the warrior. He wiped the blood on the blade and looked at the corpses with cold eyes. Is it Fengli Martial Arts School again? It's time for a reckoning. After disposing of the body, Li Mu went to Fengli Martial Arts Hall alone. At this time, Zhang Shang in Fengli Martial Arts Hall was waiting anxiously. It should be impossible for the 4 6-star warriors to fail, they are just young boys. It is absolutely impossible for one person to escape from the hands of 4 6-star warriors. Xu Huang looked at the anxious Zhang Shang and said flatteringly, Master Zhang, why are you so anxious? There are 4 6-star warriors. Even if that kid has a pair of wings, he can't escape. Humph, Zhang Shang stared at Xu Huang with cold eyes. If it weren't for you, how could Fengli Martial Arts School lose 3 3-star warriors? 3-star warriors were cultivated by Fengli Martial Arts Hall at the expense of resources. Zhang Shang's heart was bleeding when he thought of those 3 warriors. If another accident happens tonight, you won't have to live. The cold murderous intention was revealed, making Xu Huang's whole body tremble. Zhang Shang, he really wants to kill him. Xu Huang prayed in his heart that no accident would happen. Suddenly, there was a burst of noise outside the martial arts hall. I'm here to cause trouble. Come on, brothers. Along with the angry voices, several more tragic screams were heard, and the martial arts hall became much quieter in an instant. What's going on? Zhang Shang frowned and was about to walk out. Suddenly, I saw a young face stepping into the martial arts hall. Zhang Shang's heart suddenly shook when he saw this person. It's you. It's this kid. Xu Huang looked at Li Mu with wide eyes and disbelief. Li Mu actually dared to come to the door. Don't you want to see me? I'm here. Li Mu looked at Zhang Shang calmly and said slowly. Little beast, is Zhang Song's death related to you? After Zhang Shang came back to his senses, his face was ferocious, and he growled and asked. Zhang Song is looking for death. I am just self-defense. Do you allow your son to attack others, so others can't resist? Okay, okay. Zhang Shang laughed angrily. Just admit it. If that's the case, then you can be buried with my son. Boom. Zhang Shang kicked off his hind legs, and flew towards Li Mu like an arrow that had taken off its string. The mysterious light shrouded the palm, and when the palm fell, it seemed as if it was going to split Li Mu in half. However, this blow fell on Li Mu, and Zhang Shang seemed to have hit something harder than steel. Instantly, Zhang Shang gasped for breath as severe pain came from his palm. Looking at the bloody scales, Zhang Shang's eyes widened with disbelief on his face. Bloodline, Xu Huang couldn't help but exclaimed. How is that possible? According to his investigation, Li Mu was an orphan with no background, and he was only a martial arts disciple with mediocre talent. But now, the aura exuded by Li Mu was undoubtedly that of a warrior, and he was a very powerful warrior. It doesn't matter if you have bloodline. Even if you are a warrior, you are just a young boy who has just entered the warrior realm. And I am already a 9-star warrior. I am only one step away from becoming a warrior. Thunder palm. Zitsa. Dazzling lightning was raging in the venue, and a palm shot was like a thunder explosion. Zhang Shang's palm was bound to kill Li Mu. 9-star warrior. It's a pity that you are only a 9-star warrior. Li Mu's momentum rose, and in an instant, the overwhelming energy and blood rolled away like a mountain torrent. Impossible. Xu Huang turned pale and fell to the ground in fright. 7-star warrior. You are actually a 7-star warrior. Zhang Shang shouted loudly, his legs trembling. Such age, such talent. It is absolutely impossible to keep him alive. Zhang Shang's eyes were filled with murderous intent, and the cold murderous intent overflowed, and he wanted to kill Li Mu here. However, Li Mu suddenly exerted his strength. Shocking fist. Suddenly the void trembled and the sound of thunderstorm exploded. Zhang Shang was like a wild horse running wild. His arms were destroyed by a strange force, and his whole body flew out directly, slamming into the wall. Rubbles flew everywhere, and Zhang Shang looked at Li Mu in fear. Xu Huang wanted to sneak away while Li Mu wasn't paying attention. But Li Mu appeared in front of Xu Huang with one step and kicked him back. Ouch! Xu Huang cried out in pain. He was a 1-star warrior himself, but several of his ribs were broken when faced with such strange power. The dull footsteps gradually approached. Zhang Shang and Xu Huang's hair stood on end, and their bodies were filled with fear. Such a young 7-star warrior will definitely become a grandmaster in the future. Thinking of this, Zhang Shang's heart froze. If he offends a genius who can become a master, he is finished. Master Li, none of this is my business. I was just forced to investigate you. It was Zhang Shang who sent someone, not me. Just let me go. I was also forced to eat a mouthful of food. I really didn't mean to offend you. Xu Huang. Zhang Shang wished he could kill Xu Huang, this shameless villain. If his information was not wrong, why would he provoke Li Mu? Even if Li Mu killed Zhang Song, how dare he offend a man who could become a master in the future? Zhang. A dazzling cold light flashed in front of the two of them. Now that Li Mu had exposed his strength, he had no intention of letting these two people go. Poof. Congratulations on killing Zhang Shang and losing 3 years of cultivation. Congratulations on killing Xu Huang, you will lose 3 years of cultivation. Li Mu's blood boiled and invisible waves rolled up. In an instant, a turbulent wave of air burst out, and all the power in his body surged out. Li Mu moved his body and his bones made a clicking sound. 8 stars of warriors. Once the breakthrough was achieved, everyone felt refreshed. Zhang Shang's removal was like removing the thorn in his heart. Looking at the two cold corpses, Li Mu had an expressionless face and cold eyes. Everyone outside has been knocked unconscious by him, but he won't do anything to those people. No matter what happens, he will not let himself become a slave of desire and become a murderer. The next morning, news of Fengli martial arts school spread throughout the streets. A 9-star warrior was killed, and his strength was at least that of a warrior. Many people are worried about the safety of Qingcheng. After receiving the news, the Martial Arts Alliance immediately blocked the news. When they saw the bodies of Xu Huang and Zhang Shang, they all gasped sharply. Killed with one blow, judging from the injuries, Zhang Shang was crushed. At least a 2-star warrior, maybe even a 3-star warrior. At this time, Li Mu did not know that the Martial Arts Alliance had launched an investigation. At this time, Li Mu came to the blood-refining jungle again. The sound of trembling in the void continued one after another, and there were broken trees all around. After killing 2 people last night, his shaking fist reached the peak level. An 8-star warrior who is proficient in realm movement and entry into peak martial arts can be regarded as having the capital to participate in the assessment of the Holy Academy. However, this amount of capital is not enough to enter the Galaxy Holy Courtyard. He heard that the monsters in the Galaxy Holy Court not only had terrifying bloodlines but also had extremely terrifying physiques. Looking at Qingcheng, he is indeed the #1 genius, but looking at Galaxy Holy Courtyard, there are many such geniuses. It is said that the geniuses of Galaxy Holy Academy entered the realm of martial arts masters at a young age, and some even became masters when they were only 20. Hunting. He wants to improve his strength. The ferocious beasts in the blood-refining jungle were massacred by Li Mu again. Now Li Mu kills these ferocious beasts just for fun, and the ferocious beasts in the warrior realm drop much less cultivation than before. It seems that because Li Mu reached the martial arts realm, the rewards dropped were reduced. After working hard all morning, his cultivation barely reached the peak of 8 stars. With my strength, I should be able to venture into the depths. Li Mu glanced at the depths of the blood-refining jungle. It was said that there were king-level ferocious beasts in the blood-refining jungle. Above the 5th level is the king level, and the king-level ferocious beast has the combat power of the Grand Master level. The strength is terrifying, with the power to destroy a city. As you go deeper, the movement will be quieter. Wandering dragon steps. Several afterimages remained in the woods, and Li Mu entered the depths alone. After wandering in the depths of the blood-refining jungle for a short time, Li Mu suddenly stopped. That is, a faint blue shadow caught his attention. A leopard with a blue body, a body covered with patterns, and 2 heads was eating the flesh and blood of its prey. 2-headed thunder leopard, a 3rd-level intermediate ferocious beast, its strength is comparable to that of a 3-star warrior. Can I be his opponent? Li Mu thought for a while, and with the speed of the 2-headed thunder leopard, if he could anger it, then lure it to the outside and kill it. Maybe it won't attract the attention of other ferocious beasts in the depths. A 3rd-level intermediate ferocious beast, if you can kill it, you may get a lot of rewards. Even if he is lucky, his strength will be greatly improved if he loses his bloodline. Done. A sound of piercing the air burst out, and several flying knives were shot at the 2-headed thunder leopard. The 2-headed thunder leopard reacted quickly and easily dodged the blow. When he saw Li Mu, his eyes turned scarlet red and he roared angrily. That's right. That's it. Bring it on. When Li Mu saw the 2-headed thunder leopard chasing him, he ran away without saying a word. With his mastery of realm skills, even the extremely fast beast with the 2-headed thunder leopard would have a hard time catching up with him. During the chase, Li Mu would provoke the 2-headed thunder leopard from time to time, further irritating the opponent. Out of the depths of the blood-refining jungle, Li Mu suddenly stopped, his aura rose, and his whole aura suddenly changed. Bloodline bursts. Boom. The invisible wind and waves crushed the surrounding weeds. Li Mu took a lunge and kicked off his back foot, causing the ground beneath his feet to collapse even further. The 2-headed thunder leopard looked at Li Mu flying over with very disdain. With a roar, thunder surged around the double-headed thunder leopard, and the rough thunder blasted towards Li Mu. Flames erupted, and Li Mu smashed the flames towards thunder with a shaking fist. Boom! Endless smoke and dust swept around. Li Mu jumped through the smoke and flew into the air, took out his spiritual weapon and stabbed the 2-headed thunder leopard in the head. The 2-headed thunder leopard is not stupid either. When it senses a crisis, it immediately avoids the attack. Immediately, several more thunderballs made from thunder made sharp and harsh sounds and hit Li Mu. Wandering dragon steps. The afterimage of the dragon emerged, and the thunderballs fell on Li Mu's afterimage. The 2-headed thunder leopard roared, and the thunder around it became more dazzling, followed by a long roar. It's like a big net woven by thunder falling. Li Mu's expression changed slightly, he raised his palms and blazing flames spurted out, turning into a shield to protect him. Roar! Taking advantage of this opportunity, the double-headed thunder leopard turned into thunder and came to Li Mu in the blink of an eye. He opened his bloody mouth to bite off a large piece of meat from Li Mu. At this time, Li Mu showed a sly smile. Go crazy! Qi and blood surged, and the terrifying qi and blood instantly crushed the two-headed thunder leopard. The double-headed thunder leopard trembled and looked at Li Mu in fear. A huge word, death, seemed to emerge from Lei Bao's punch. A punch covered all four eyes, and the devastating power instantly knocked the thunder leopard away. Bang! The boulder not far away exploded with a bang. Lei Bao was covered in blood, his body twitched a few times, and he completely lost his breath. Congratulations on killing the two-headed thunder leopard, losing 3 years of cultivation, and gaining the bloodline of thunder. Nice. Li Mu couldn't help laughing wildly, his aura gradually increased, and he successfully broke through to the warrior 9 stars. One step closer to becoming a martial artist. The blood merged again, and thunder and fire wrapped around Li Mu's arm. The power of the merged blood was several times greater than before. Using his mad bloodline, he could kill the thunder leopard with one strike. Even a 3-star warrior could not withstand the power of the punch just now. The most important thing is that he hasn't used all his strength yet. Now Li Mu estimates that when he explodes with bloodline power, even a 5-star warrior is no match for him. But this is definitely not enough. The geniuses in the Holy Academy definitely have such strength. Can't be proud. Just when Li Mu was preparing to leave again. Sudden, the earth shook violently, the roars of various ferocious beasts resounded through the sky, and a monstrous power spread throughout the blood-refining jungle. Under this power, Li Mu tensed up all over. Looking at the terrifying shadow on the mountain range, a chill came out of his heart. King level. It is definitely a king-level beast. The densely packed ferocious beasts were rushing towards me like thousands of troops. Li Mu's hair stood on end, and without saying a word, he used the dragon step to escape towards the exit. He knew something was wrong. There is a riot in the blood-refining jungle, and the king-level beast is about to break through. Other warriors who were in the blood-refining jungle also noticed something strange and fled the jungle in fear. However, their speed is not fast. Faced with the siege of ferocious beasts, it is difficult for them to survive. Li Mu was covered in blood, and all the ferocious beasts around him that tried to attack him were killed by him. At this time, outside the customs. What happened in the blood-refining jungle? Why is the entire city gate shaking? Is there something wrong with the blood-refining jungle? The 2 guards guarding the blood-refining jungle jumped up and looked at the group of ferocious beasts as black as the tide, their faces instantly turned pale. The 2 shouted to everyone. Evacuate! Evacuate as soon as possible. The ferocious beasts are rioting. It's the ferocious beasts rioting. Level 1 alert. Level 1 alert. The earth shook, smoke and dust rose everywhere, and the ancient beast's momentum shook the sky. The 2 warrior-level guards looked extremely downcast. Can't wait any longer. But there are still people inside who haven't come out yet. There is nothing we can do. If the ferocious beasts inside are allowed to escape, the entire Qingcheng will be destroyed. It's better to kill and injure a few people than to destroy an entire city. Activate the defense system. Swish. At this moment, a figure rushed out from outside the pass. He Feng looked at the young man and was stunned. It's you. Li Mu's face turned red and he gasped for air. He looked back at the sealed exit and felt even more frightened. Fine, he's out. Uncle He, something big happened. Li Mu said solemnly. It is true that there are king-level ferocious beasts in the blood-refining jungle, but the king-level ferocious beasts are not one. He felt the auras of 2 king-level ferocious beasts inside. What? You said the king-level beast has 2 heads. He Feng shouted in horror, looking at the ferocious beast that wanted to break through the defense system in horror. 2 king-level ferocious beasts, how could Qingcheng be able to defend it? I hope the defense system can last longer. Li Mu returned home and took a hot shower. Looking at the dark sky, he felt equally depressed. Warrior Juxing, although he has gained a new bloodline this time, he is not happy at all now. The ferocious beast riot is a huge disaster for Qingcheng. Once the guarded city gate is breached by a ferocious beast, it will be devastating to Qingcheng. Li Mu looked out the window and saw people running away in panic in the streets and alleys. They were extremely frightened when they saw the ferocious beasts hovering in the sky. Some people even packed their luggage and were ready to leave Qingcheng. This might be an opportunity for me. Slaughtering ferocious beasts can not only improve his strength, but if he can gain fame in this disaster, he may have a better chance of entering the Galaxy Holy Courtyard. Boom! The city gate shattered suddenly, and the warriors all around looked frightened. We must defend this place. Don't let the ferocious beasts enter the city. Brothers, let's fight. Come on. The warriors' energy and blood surged, and hundreds of warriors went into battle to fight. Blood roared, and it didn't take long for the surrounding area to be completely stained with blood, and the blood gathered into a river. Even the air smelled of blood. He Feng held a giant axe and slashed a fierce beast into two halves. Looking at the flying beast hovering in the sky, his expression became even more solemn. Don't let anything happen in the city. At the same time, Li Mu had changed his clothes and came to the top of the building with an extraordinary bow and arrow. A flying ferocious beast. Li Mu focused his gaze and aimed at the circling beast. An arrow shot out. Congratulations on killing Skylark, you will lose 2 years of cultivation. Arrows shot out from the sky, and flying ferocious beasts died under Li Mu's arrows. The passers-by who were fleeing on the road were even more confused when they saw the corpse of the ferocious beast falling from the sky. Team leader. At this time, the people from the Martial Arts Alliance looked at the arrows in the sky and couldn't help but shout. One arrow will kill a first-level ferocious beast, at least a high-level warrior. The warriors in Qingcheng City are also starting to get excited. Zhao Lei shifted his gaze and said sternly to the people around him, strictly guard every entrance to prevent ferocious beasts from entering the city. Yes, Li Mu once again killed a flying beast with one arrow. He glanced at the empty quiver and dropped the bow on the ground. The pinnacle of 9 stars. After killing so many flying ferocious beasts, he still hadn't reached Wufu. It seems that this time it has really reached a bottleneck. Li. At this time, a fierce beast with a purple body and a sharp whistling sound came straight towards Li Mu. Zitza. Thunder and lightning. Thunderbird. The Thunderbird belongs to the 3rd-level intermediate ferocious beast, and its strength is comparable to that of a 3-star warrior. Although the Thunderbird is not as good as the 2-headed Thunder Leopard, dealing with flying ferocious beasts, unless you are a master who can fly, will be particularly difficult for even a martial artist to deal with the Thunderbird. With the spiritual snake knife in hand, Li Mu's energy and spirit climbed to its peak. When Lei Ke was about to touch him, his aura surged instantly. The Thunderbird passed through Li Mu's body. He did not attack Li Mu. All he saw was Li Mu's afterimage. At the same time, a dazzling sword light suddenly rose from the void. Poof! In the sky, a blood flower bloomed. Lei Ke still didn't understand what happened, but the body split into 2, fell from a high altitude and fell on a certain car. Congratulations on killing the Thunderbird, you will lose 3 years of cultivation. As soon as the system sound fell, a deafening explosion suddenly rose from the sky somewhere in the western suburbs of Qingcheng. Fire light shot into the sky, thick smoke billowed, and the sound of roaring beasts reached his ears, causing Li Mu's expression to change. In the end, the defense line collapsed. What are the garrisoned warriors doing? Isn't there a Grand Master in Qingcheng City? Why haven't I seen him yet? Has there been an accident? As soon as he finished speaking, Li Mu disappeared on the roof of the building. At the same time, deep in the blood-refining jungle mountains, a big fish transformed from Yuan Li swam from the void. There was a loud explosion, and a mountain range not far away was seen, like mountain-like boulders flying towards the big fish. The big fish made an ethereal sound, and its huge tail slapped the void. A wave of waves suddenly appeared in the void, like a sharp arrow turned into a water column piercing the boulder. The old man standing in the void had an extremely solemn expression. Looking at the 2 shadows in the smoke, his mood instantly sank to the bottom. Old man, it seems your style is still as good as before. But don't try to stop me today. One king may be able to stop me, but what if there are 2 kings? A demon king who transformed into a strong middle-aged man was looking at the old man with disdain. The old man looked at the demon king solemnly and said in a low voice, "Even if I die here today, I will still stop you." Haha, you are worthy of being the master of the human race, your aura is really impressive. A demon king who was filled with black energy and looked a bit evil looked at the old man teasingly. You want to stop us with your old body? You're talking nonsense. Today I will taste the flesh and blood of the human race master. Boom. A terrible war broke out. At the same time, in Qingcheng City, the ferocious beasts that broke into the city were wreaking havoc and killing people crazily. Humans who have not become warriors are like fragile tissue in front of ferocious beasts. The ferocious beasts roared, and people trembled in despair, praying for the savior to come. Mom, Mom, where are you? Chi-Chi is scared. Mom, Mom. At the convenience door, a little girl who looked like 5 or 6 years old cried helplessly with tears in her eyes. At this time, a red wolf noticed the little girl, its exposed fangs still stained with wet blood. He walked slowly towards the little girl. The little girl seemed to be aware of the movement on the side, and when she saw the red wolf, she fell to the ground in fright. The red wolf suddenly opened its bloody mouth, and a fishy wind blew in his face. At the critical moment, Li Mu arrived in time. Bursts of sword light were raging like a violent storm. Blood rained down, and the desperate little girl slowly opened her eyes. I saw a big hand covering the little girl's head. Li Mu smiled at the little girl and said, Brother, can you take you to find your mother? Brother, why does Chi-Chi keep her eyes closed? The little girl with her eyes closed in Li Mu's arms asked. Poof! A ferocious beast was ruthlessly slaughtered by Li Mu again. Li Mu said softly, because children cannot watch bloody scenes. Oh, brother, you must be a warrior. Mom said that a warrior is a Superman and a great hero who protects us. Li Mu smiled and said nothing, and continued to take the little girl to find her mother. Not long after, there was a supermarket packed with people. A beautiful woman who looked like she was only about 30 years old shouted anxiously. Chi-Chi, Chi-Chi, where are you? Kiki. The beautiful woman kept shouting with a cry. At this time, an ant on the side couldn't help but cursed, it's so noisy. How dare you shout in this situation? Are you trying to kill us all? No, no, the beautiful woman explained anxiously, my daughter is missing. I want to find my daughter. I didn't mean to. You can lose your own daughter. Are you worthy of being a mother? I would say that today's young people really have no sense of responsibility at all. They can't even take care of their children and have children. The ant looked at the beautiful woman with disdain and kept belittling the young woman. The young woman's face was ashen and she looked desperate and remorseful. But at this moment, the closed iron door seemed to be impacted by something, and it shook violently. In an instant, everyone in the supermarket had a look of fear on their faces. A ferocious beast. It must be a ferocious beast. The beast found us. It's you, woman. The ant's eyes were scarlet and she pushed the young woman fiercely. If it weren't for you, the beast wouldn't have paid attention to us at all, and now all of us have been killed by you. Kacha. The sharp claws of cold light penetrated the iron door, and the people in the supermarket tightened together when they saw this scene. Tear. The iron skins were torn open by claws, and a sturdy black striped steel bear looked fiercely at the people in the supermarket. People kept retreating and tightening. They had no way to retreat because they had blocked the road behind them. In order to avoid the entry of vicious beasts, they blocked the way back. And now they have nowhere to escape. Why haven't the people from the Martial Arts Alliance come yet? Aren't you going to protect us? They are all liars. Those warriors might have run away long ago. Otherwise, how could the vicious beasts invade the city? We are dead. Roar. The black patterned steel bear roared like a big truck rushing towards the crowd. Everyone was so frightened that they screamed in despair. The young woman closed her eyes in despair. Chi-Chi, Mom is here to find you. Just when the black-grained steel bear was about to rush into the crowd, a phantom flashed outside like lightning. Poof. The cold blade inserted into the back of the black-grained steel bear. The severe pain caused the black-grained steel bear to let out an ear-splitting howl. Everyone was stunned when they saw the scene in front of them. Immediately after someone saw the figure on the back of the black-patterned steel bear, they shouted excitedly, it's a warrior. It's someone from the Martial Arts Alliance who came to save us. Warrior. Everyone's eyes widened as if they saw hope. They were finally saved. Li Mu jumped up, like a flying man, and at the moment he was about to land, he kicked the black-patterned steel bear out of the supermarket. Mother. A familiar voice made the young woman's delicate body tremble. Chi-Chi, my daughter. The young woman hugged Chi-Chi into her arms, tears streaming down her face. Roar. The black-grained steel bear that was kicked away was completely enraged, its eyes glowed scarlet, and it fell into a state of rage. Li Mu was calm, looking at the black-patterned steel bear in front of him with the same calm expression as before. The black-patterned steel bear rushed towards Li Mu again and punched Li Mu suddenly. Shocking fist. There was a loud sound in the void, blood boiling, and the sound was mighty. In the face of absolute power, even a third-level ferocious beast could only be crushed by Li Mu. What's more, Li Mu's shock fist has reached the level of mastery, and its power is several times that of before. Congratulations on killing the black-patterned steel bear, you will lose 3 years of cultivation. 3 years of cultivation. Li Mu sighed in disappointment, he still didn't break through Wu Fu. After all, talent is limited. People in the supermarket looked at the body of the black-grained steel bear and were stunned for a long time. So strong. That man actually killed the ferocious beast in an instant. This man must be a high-level warrior. We are saved. Everyone's faces were filled with excitement, and they looked at Li Mu as if they had seen a savior. Li Mu slowly walked into the supermarket and looked at everyone and said calmly, the ferocious beasts around have been cleared away, and the area is temporarily safe. You can't stay here anymore, I'll take you somewhere else. Etc. You mean not to escort us back? You want us to find another place to hide? The ant from before stood up again and asked arrogantly, didn't your martial arts alliance set up a safe stronghold? Where are the others? Why are you the only one? Do you, the martial arts alliance, take us to heart? Li Mu frowned and looked at the ant in front of him, and his tone became a bit colder. It's the martial arts alliance's business to escort you, I'm just saving you. If you want to live, come with me. If you have any objections, pick up your weapons and fight against those ferocious beasts. Li Mu didn't give a good look either. Isn't this horse riding a pure moral kidnapping? As soon as they heard that Li Mu wanted to give up on them, these people panicked. No. We have no objection, please take us to a safe place. The ant saw that Li Mu didn't give him face and wanted to say a few more words, but when she noticed Li Mu's cold gaze, in an instant, the whole person looked like a pickled cucumber. Everyone followed Li Mu outside. They were shocked to see the scene in the outside world. The ground was dyed red with blood, and streams of blood gathered together like streams, and the smell of various kinds of blood was mixed together. The mountain of murderers' corpses not far away made it difficult for many people to adapt. Many people retched several times. Oh my God, he couldn't have done all this alone, right? Isn't he a warrior? But a warrior? Impossible, he is only a teenager, how can he be a martial artist? Perhaps these ferocious beasts were killed by other warriors. Everyone followed Li Mu cautiously, looking around fearfully for fear that a vicious beast would suddenly jump out. Li Mu took them to a factory and confirmed that the surrounding area was safe and then said to everyone, there are no ferocious beasts around here. As long as you stay here, the ferocious beasts cannot find you. After saying that, Li Mu was about to leave. Suddenly someone asked, Master Warrior, when will it be safe outside? When will the crisis be resolved? Li Mu looked at the man and was silent for a while, then said, it all depends on the Warrior Alliance. If it cannot survive, the entire Qingcheng will be destroyed. What? Everyone's faces turned pale again. Aren't you from the Warriors Alliance? Li Mu shook his head. I am a student of Qingcheng High School. Everyone stared blankly at Li Mu's disappearing figure. Qingcheng High School. He is actually just a high school student. This. Is there such a terrifying genius in Qingcheng High School? With this kind of strength, he will definitely become a master in the future. Everyone was shocked. The Grand Master was like a god to them. So aren't they equivalent to masters who have seen the future? Everyone was extremely excited when they thought of this. As for the ant before, she was even more frightened when she heard that Li Mu might become a Grand Master in the future. She was afraid that Li Mu would cause trouble for her in the future. Chi-Chi held the young woman's hand and murmured innocently, I will become a great hero like Big Brother in the future. The ferocious beasts are raging in the urban area of Qingcheng, roads are broken, houses collapse, and the crazy ferocious beasts destroy everything in the city. Li Mu was alone, holding a spirit weapon and killing all the ferocious beasts. The level of ferocious beasts that invaded the urban area was not high. Most of them were first and second order ferocious beasts. As for the third order ferocious beasts, Li Mu had only seen 3 of them so far. Perhaps the defense line at Chungwan has not completely collapsed, otherwise with the number of ferocious beasts in the blood-refining jungle, the entire Qingcheng city would have fallen long ago. Congratulations on killing the red flame lion. You will lose 3 years of cultivation. Congratulations on killing the giant tiger and losing 3 years of cultivation. Congratulations on killing the black armored cow and losing 3 years of cultivation. Congratulations. There was a flash of sword light, and the ferocious beasts didn't understand what was happening. They all died under Li Mu's sword. Suddenly, Li Mu's expression changed drastically, and his aura suddenly changed. An even stronger coercion swept around, and at the same time, there was an elemental power seed in Li Mu's Dantian. Warrior. He finally broke through the martial arts realm. But what Li Mu didn't expect the most was that he actually condensed the seeds of Yuanli in the martial arts realm. This is simply unbelievable. Could it be that his talent is not what he thought? Li Mu looked excited. With such a level of cultivation, he should undoubtedly be able to participate in the Holy Academy examination. I don't know how this kind of strength compares with those monsters in the Galaxy Holy Courtyard. Boom. At this moment, there was an explosion not far away, flames shot into the sky, and black smoke rolled into the sky. Li Mu looked at the rising black smoke, and the next moment his figure disappeared. The defense lines set up on urban roads, the soldiers used their own firepower to cover the charging beasts. Although it was effective, it only slowed down the beast. Captain, I can't stand it anymore. Let's retreat. If this continues, all the brothers will have to answer here. One of the tough-looking soldiers cursed. What kind of monsters are these ferocious beasts of his grandma? Even this kind of fire coverage can't kill them. Captain, I think what the waiter said makes sense. How about we retreat? We are almost out of ammunition. If we don't withdraw, it will be too late. The man wearing an officer's uniform looked at the group of ferocious beasts that looked like a black tide, his expression extremely gloomy. Keep up the fire. Retreat slowly. The forward troops maintained fire suppression, while the rear troops escorted the citizens back slowly. However, at this moment, a strange roar made many people pause. That's what? The soldiers looked at the huge shadow in horror, as an ancient elephant that was 3 or 4 stories high rolled over. The surrounding ferocious beasts were swept away by the ancient elephant in an instant. The group of ferocious beasts were vulnerable to the ancient elephant, and were trampled under its feet by the ancient elephant in an instant. Attack! Attack! Suppressive fire! Suppressive fire! Boy, put on the grenade! Put on the grenade! This guy grew up eating dichlorvis. The fire cover became more and more fierce, and the hand left behind exploded in the sky, and a huge fire exploded and kicked up smoke and dust. But even this still did not cause any harm to the ancient elephant, but instead angered the ancient elephant. The ancient elephant roared angrily and ran straight towards the army with all his strength. The earth trembled and smoke billowed toward our faces. Bazooka! The pungent smell of gunpowder filled the air, and the rocket launcher exploded on the ancient elephant. But Ji Yushang is still fine. Run, run. Seeing that no weapons were effective, the soldiers had to retreat quickly. The ancient elephant waved its long trunk with ferocious power, like a wild beast with no one to resist. Suddenly, at this moment, a figure soared into the sky. Li Mu climbed to the top with aura, and a storm of thunder and fire suddenly rose in the void. Shock fist. The void trembled, and the terrifying power suddenly erupted like a mountain torrent and a tsunami. The wild ancient elephant howled, and its sweeping proboscis instantly exploded into a bloody mist. Li Mu attacked fiercely and did not give the ancient elephant any chance. He used Dragon Step to instantly reach the lower abdomen of the ancient elephant. The knife penetrated into the flesh, as if it had cut a major artery, and blood surged like a fountain. Tear. Li Mu used his strength to cut open the abdomen directly, and struck another lightning strike into the ancient elephant's body. The ancient elephant's tragic wailing sound was like a mad rampage, and the surrounding area was in a mess and turned into ruins. Not long after, the ancient elephant couldn't hold on any longer and fell to the ground, lifeless. Looking at the blood-covered back, everyone seemed to feel that the person standing there was like a god or demon. The strong smell of blood made Li Mu frown. Although he was used to it, the feeling of the vicious beast's blood sticking to his body was very unpleasant. Congratulations on killing the ancient wild elephant, losing 3 years of cultivation, and gaining the bloodline of the ancient elephant. Hearing the sound of the system, Li Mu smiled lightly. This wave is not a loss. Li Mu walked towards the crowd, looked at the stunned soldiers and citizens, and asked, "Are you all okay?" Xiangzhou nodded blankly and looked straight at the young man in front of him. The Martial Arts Alliance should be busy taking care of themselves, so how can they have time to reinforce them? Have their difficulties been solved? Aren't you Martial Arts Alliance trying to intercept the ferocious beasts? How come you have time to reinforce us? Has the situation gotten better? Xiangzhou asked eagerly. Li Mu shook his head and said, "I am not from the Martial Arts Alliance." Not from the Martial Arts Alliance. This child is so young and looks like a student. Could he be a student of Qingcheng High School? But does a high school student possess such terrifying strength? I have never heard of such a genius. I have already reported it to the guys at Shenwu camp that such a good prospect should join their army. By the way, where do you plan to retreat to? Is there a safe base set up in the rear? Li Mu asked. Xiangzhou nodded. Li Mu also learned some news here. The reason why people from the Martial Arts Alliance did not participate in the rescue was to block several entrances to Qingcheng City. Prevent vicious beasts from continuing to enter Qingcheng. However, it seems that the current situation is not good. After learning the news, Li Mu escorted the troops and citizens to the safe base. After arriving, Xiangzhou looked at Li Mu and asked, "Young man, what is your name?" Li Mu looked back at Xiangzhou. Li Mu. Zhao Lei was covered in blood and panting, kicking away the corpse of the beast beneath him. There's really no end to this bunch of beasts. Zhao Lei looked back at the dead and injured warriors, his face extremely solemn. With such casualties, it is too late to support other places. I hope they can hold on. Hongyi, what's going on over there? Do you still need reinforcements? Zhao Lei shouted towards the walkie-talkie. At the same time, Han Hongyi was blocking the checkpoint and stared at the figure fighting the ferocious beast. Captain, the level has been temporarily held, and the brothers survived. Han Hongyi said in a trembling voice. Zhao Lei on the other end of the phone couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief after hearing this. That's good. Just hold on. We still have some beasts here. I'll help you after these beasts are dealt with. Han Hongyi watched with horror as a ferocious beast was beheaded by a young man again, and said with a trembling voice. Captain, I don't think you need to come. Tear. Li Mu casually killed a second-level ferocious beast with no expression on his face. He was covered in blood like a god of death. The corpses of ferocious beasts piled up into mountains, and their scarlet blood gathered into rivers. Li Mu moved forward without any disadvantages, and all the ferocious beasts died under his hands. This is too scary. Han Hongyi looked at Li Mu absent-mindedly. Those mountains of ferocious beasts were all killed by that child alone. His aura is more terrifying than that of a martial artist. Are the thunder and flames on the blade the power of that child's bloodline? Han Hongyi finally knew what it meant that one person was an army. At this moment, an icy cold air suddenly swept through the surroundings. Frost visible to the naked eye came towards him. Han Hongyi froze and stared at the frosty snow cow with wide eyes. Frost-armored ox. The 4th-level ferocious beast. Han Hongyi and other team members looked ashen. Although the frost-armored ox was a 4th-level low-level ferocious beast, its strength was at the level of a martial artist. None of them here is a martial artist, and Han Hongyi is just a 3-star martial artist. Young man, go quickly. We are here to support you. You are the future of Kyushu and you should not die here. If you die, we will all be sinners. Han Hongyi shouted towards Li Mu. However, Li Mu seemed to have not heard anything and had no reaction at all. Seeing the frost-armored cow, Li Mu was not only unafraid but also extremely excited. Han Hongyi turned his eyes and his expression changed drastically. Young man, what are you going to do? Li Mu turned into a gust of wind and rushed towards the frost-armored ox. Seeing this scene, Han Hongyi and others had their hearts in their throats. Still too young, too reckless. Han Hongyi looked at the brothers behind and shouted, "Brothers, can we still fight? Can fight, can fight." Good. Han Hongyi locked on Li Mu and gritted his teeth. That child is the future of the Dragon Kingdom and will never die like this. Even if I risk my life, I must let him live. Just as Han Hongyi was about to rush forward, what happened in the next moment made him freeze. Swish, swish, swish. Ice flowers fell on the road and instantly turned into ice picks to attack Li Mu's lower body. But Li Mu used the Wandering Dragon step in the face of danger and easily dodged those ice picks. Before the ice cone rose, Li Mu dodged away. Han Hongyi opened his mouth wide when he saw Li Mu's movement skills and the strange phenomena that emerged, and said hoarsely, mastering the realm of movement skills. Li Mu's figure kept flickering like a ghost, like a wandering dragon. Waves of green sword light flickered and fell on the frost-armored cow. Bang! The ice crystals bloomed dazzlingly, and the frost armor of the frost-armored cow was like invisible armor that was difficult to penetrate. As expected of a 4th-level ferocious beast, it is not as easy to deal with as other ferocious beasts. Suddenly a force of frost was released again, and Li Mu's figure suddenly stopped. His expression changed as he looked at the frozen frost under his feet. The frost-armored cow roared angrily and came straight towards Li Mu, vowing to tear Li Mu into pieces. Not good. When Han Hongyi saw this scene, he felt like he was about to suffocate. Suddenly, something happened again. Bloodline bursts. Li Mu's aura gradually rose, his blood boiling, like a startling dragon. In an instant, the frost under his feet turned into ice crystals and shattered. Li Mu put away his spirit weapon and headed straight for the frost-armored cow. Boom! The void trembled, and a deafening sonic boom suddenly exploded. In the head-on confrontation, Li Mu landed one punch after another on the frost-armored Niu, and his bloodline power exploded. Under the shocking power, the frost-armored Niu even wanted to retreat. Thunder and flames bloomed from the void, and the dazzling light shocked people extremely. Everyone was shocked and numb when they saw this scene. So tough. Who is the ferocious beast? The 9th punch. When Li Mu's 9th fist was transformed into a swing, the void was already distorted. His ghostly figure appeared in the sky above the frost-armored cow, and punched the frost-armored cow directly in the head. Boom! There was a loud explosion, and the ground suddenly collapsed, spreading countless cracks like spider webs. The air wave came oncoming, and countless gravel splashed around. Smoke and dust gradually filled the air, and no one in the thick smoke and dust knew the outcome of the battle. Han Hongyi clenched his hands tightly. If that young man killed the frost-armored cow, wouldn't it mean that his strength was comparable to that of a martial artist? At such an age, he is comparable to a martial artist, and such a monster is probably comparable to the martial arts monsters of the Galaxy Holy Academy. Congratulations on killing the frost-armored cow. You will lose 4 years of cultivation and obtain the frost bloodline. Li Mu's aura gradually increased, his whole brain became much clearer, and his tired body surged with strength again. 2-star warrior. Cool. The excitement in Li Mu's eyes has not faded at all. The rewards brought to him by this ferocious beast were too many. The level of a 2-star warrior was something he had never dared to imagine. Moreover, he is strong enough to kill level 4 ferocious beasts, and his full power of bloodline is enough to rival a martial artist. At least, ordinary martial artists will not be his opponent. Unless he is a martial artist with the power of blood, if an ordinary martial artist faces Li Mu, he will probably lose in a few rounds. Hongyi. At this time, Zhao Lei hurriedly ran towards Han Hongyi. Han Hongyi was startled and looked at Zhao Lei with wide eyes. Team leader. Zhao Lei looked at the dead and injured warriors with a gloomy expression. Looking at Han Hongyi, who was not seriously injured, was the biggest comfort in his heart. The frost released by the frost-armored cow was still covering the road. Zhao Lei's expression changed slightly after noticing it. What a strong frost power. Did you fight a vicious beast? This kind of frost power is not possessed by a 3rd-level beast, but by a 4th-level beast. Han Hongyi nodded with a wry smile. The 4th-level ferocious beast frost armor ox. What? It's actually a frost-armored cow. Zhao Lei's expression changed drastically when he heard this, and he quickly looked around but didn't find the shadow of the frost-armored cow. Could it be that frost-armored ox has already entered the city? Zhao Lei asked in a trembling voice. Han Hongyi shook his head and pointed at the gradually dispersing smoke and said, Minister, look over there. The smoke and dust gradually dispersed, and the collapsed road gradually emerged in front of everyone's eyes. Zhao Lei squinted and suddenly found the body of a frost-armored cow in the deep pit, and there was a figure next to the body of the frost-armored cow. Zhao Lei was shocked and stared at the figure with wide eyes. Zhao Lei's absent-minded gaze shifted to the mountains of corpses of ferocious beasts. He had a terrible suspicion in his mind, but he didn't dare to define it hastily. Did he kill all these ferocious beasts by himself? Han Hongyi on the side nodded. In an instant, it was like a thunderbolt falling on Zhao Lei's head. At the same time, the smoke dispersed, and Li Emu's young face appeared in front of Zhao Lei. After seeing this familiar face clearly, Zhao Lei froze and stared at Li Mu with rapid breathing. It's him. It's him. He did all this. This. I'm not dreaming. This is incredible. Han Hongyi on the side looked at Zhao Lei, who looked like he was losing his mind, and asked in confusion. Do you know him, Minister? Zhao Lei took a deep breath and said in a deep voice, do you still remember what I told you before, that I added a name to mountain and sea hunting? Gulu. Han Hongyi swallowed, looked straight at Li Mu and said hoarsely, Minister, you're not talking about him, are you? Although it's incredible, that person is him. I can't imagine that our Qingcheng can still produce such a genius. But Minister, didn't you say that the child is just a warrior? Could it be that he has been hiding his strength? Zhao Lei's expression froze when he heard this. Maybe he hides his strength. Suddenly, at this moment, in the blood-refining jungle not far away, the dazzling light bloomed like fireworks, and the terrifying power swept through Qingcheng, making countless warriors look horrified. Old man, are you crazy? The two king-level ferocious beasts looked at the old man in front of them in fear. I think you are burning. I will kill both of you here today. Seal of mountains and seas. The void trembled, and the power of the old man's palm was astonishing, like a mountain and sea suppressing it. Yuanli burst out like a torrent, and strange phenomena of mountains and seas emerged. The two king-level ferocious beasts were terrified and their blood was boiling. Rumble. The void kept trembling, and under the oppressive power, the expressions of the two king-level ferocious beasts turned into the color of pig liver. Madman. Madman. This old man is crazy. The old man's veins burst out, and a trace of blood spilled from the corner of his mouth. Ah! Ground-level martial arts. Seal of mountains and seas. The great seal of mountains and seas suppressed them like mountains, and under the power of destruction, both king-level ferocious beasts showed a look of fear. No! The two king-level ferocious beasts shouted in despair. With a roar, the great seal of the mountains and seas pressed down, the mountains undulated, and the smoke and dust spread all around like an overwhelming wave. A towering mountain turned into a flat piece of land under the terrifying power of the great seal of mountains and seas. The seal of mountains and seas gradually dissipated, and there were two corpses with bloody flesh under the sunken ground. The frightening power on the old man gradually faded away, and then he spit out a mouthful of blood and fell from the sky. That power! Li Mu stared in the direction of the blood-refining jungle. At least he is a figure more powerful than the king-level ferocious beast. Could it be that reinforcements from the martial arts alliance have arrived? Li Mu. Zhao Lei came over at some point and shouted to Li Mu. Who are you? Li Mu looked at the other party in confusion. Zhao Lei, director of the Qingcheng Martial Arts Alliance branch. Zhao Lei introduced himself with a smile on his face. Li Emu's expression changed slightly. It turned out to be him. The person who gave him the martial arts potion. Thankfully, I have you, otherwise all of my brothers would have died tragically at the hands of ferocious beasts. You are the benefactor of our Qingcheng branch. Li Mu shook his head. As Minister Zhao said, I am just doing what I can. After all, no one wants to see Qingcheng become a paradise for vicious beasts. I don't know what the situation is like in the blood-refining jungle. The Grand Master stationed in Qingcheng has gone, and the situation should be stable for the time being. I hope so. Li Mu stared at the blood-refining jungle. However, at this moment, Zhao Lei received a call. After listening to it, he showed an extremely heartbroken look, and his tears couldn't stop falling. Minister, what's wrong with you? Han Hongyi on the side asked worriedly. Go Lao, he died in battle. What? After hearing the news, the surrounding warriors were filled with grief and began to sob uncontrollably. Minister Zhao, who is Mr. Go in your mouth? Li Mu asked in confusion. He is the Grand Master stationed in Qingcheng. Grand Master. Li Mu was greatly shocked, as the Grand Master and other figures actually died in the battle. Could that vast power be released by the Grand Master? The Grand Master died in battle, and the 2 king-level ferocious beasts were reduced to minced meat. This crisis was finally over. Li Mu and Zhao Lei returned to the martial arts base and did some registration before returning home. In this disaster of ferocious beasts, he could count himself as having a great harvest. Not only did it allow him to break through to Wufu, but it also unexpectedly condensed Yuanli seeds so that he could possess Yuanli. After all, I have the capital to compete with those evildoers in the Galaxy Holy Academy. After a tiring day, Li Mu himself was a little tired. Then I took a hot bath and fell asleep. The martial arts base reported Qingcheng's losses and results. Zhao Lei took a deep breath in the base. There is only so much I can do. With your ability, you must enter the Galaxy Holy Courtyard. Galaxy Holy Court, the martial arts holy court in the center of Kyushu Kingdom, has a history of thousands of years, and countless giants have graduated from Galaxy Holy Court. Teacher. A petite girl with twin tails who looked to be no more than 15 or 16 years old ran into the room. Yao. The middle-aged man pushed up his glasses and looked at Yao with a smile. Teacher, look at this, Qingcheng seems to have produced an incredible genius. Oh, show me. Xie Given took the information and looked at the summary of the battle situation in Qingcheng City, with a flash of surprise in his eyes. The talent is good, the strength is also good, but at this age, the level of martial arts is just a little low. But his martial arts talent is extraordinary. Xie Given looked at Yao's expectant eyes and smiled. Do you want your junior brother? Of course, teacher, you haven't accepted new students for decades. Senior brothers and others always laugh at me for being the youngest. You see, it's not easy for me to discover a genius. How about you take him in, sir, and let me be your senior sister for once? Xie Given smiled helplessly. This kind of thing is not something I can decide. The talent he has shown does qualify him to enter the Galaxy Holy Academy, but he still needs to pass the assessment. I'll keep an eye out. After Yao left, Xie Given looked at the battle report in his hand and wondered what he was thinking. We accept students. At the same time, Qingcheng High School completely exploded because of a piece of news today. There is a martial artist in our school. And he is still a student. One person killed a frost-armored cow. Isn't it true? How can we have such a monster in our school? I'm a martial artist before I can break through others. What kind of monster is this? By the way, what's that monster's name? It seems to be called Li Mu. Li Mu stepped into the campus as usual. He knew nothing about the news on campus. When Li Mu came to the class, everyone's eyes changed when they looked at him. Some were shocked, some were in awe, and some were terrified. Shen Lei looked at Li Mu with a complicated expression. Suddenly, he felt that his good friend was a bit strange. We agreed to put it all together, but you secretly became a god. They all couldn't figure out how Li Mu could become a martial artist in the blink of an eye when he was just a martial arts disciple not long ago. Moreover, he is still a warrior who can kill a frost-armored cow. This is already a warrior-level combat power. Li Mu sat down, but as soon as he got down, Zhongli called him away. Come to the office. Zhongli looked at Li Mu in front of him with an extremely complicated expression. I thought Li Mu was a warrior, but he turned out to be a warrior. It's so lucky that such a genius can appear in their Qingcheng High School. Zhongli picked up something from the table and handed it to Li Mu. After taking it, Li Mu asked in confusion, Teacher, what is this? Thunder Flash, 9th grade martial arts. 9th grade martial arts. Li Mu's expression suddenly changed, and he suddenly felt that the thing in his hand was extremely warm. 9th grade martial arts, if you have mastered 9th grade martial arts. No, let alone proficiency, even if you are just starting out, you can surpass many people in the Galaxy Holy Courtyard. But Qingcheng High School probably doesn't have 9th grade martial arts. Teacher, there shouldn't be a 9th grade martial arts school in our school, right? Zhongli nodded and said, this martial arts is not from the school. Mr. Zhao Lei asked me to hand it over to you. Minister Zhao Lei, this is a reward given to you by the Martial Arts Alliance. After all, if it weren't for you, the martial arts alliance's losses would be even more serious. But apart from martial arts, there is one thing I need you to understand first. After saying that, Zhang Li took out another document. Li Mu frowned as he looked at the document, Mountain and Sea Hunting. What's this? Why is there my name on it? Zhang Li said calmly, this is an old document. There is no one else's name on the new document, only yours. You will represent Xinjiang in the Mountain and Sea Hunting. The Mountain and Sea Hunting is held in major cities in the Kyushu Kingdom under the organization of the Martial Arts Alliance. To put it simply, it's hunting ferocious beasts. Hunting beasts. Li Mu's eyes suddenly lit up. Hunting ferocious beasts was great, but he was worried about having nowhere to go. The first place winner in this mountain and sea hunt will receive Earth-level martial arts, and will also get a chance to enter Tianqi. Tianqi. Li Mu's expression suddenly changed, and he asked in shock, is this the legendary Tianqi that can change people's qualifications? Kindness. Zhang Li looked at Li Mu and said solemnly, with your qualifications, if you can go further, I'm afraid it will be comparable to those monsters from the big families in the Galaxy Holy Courtyard. Mountain and Sea Hunting. It is said that Tianqi can change his cultivation qualifications. If this is really the case, it will be a terrible thing once his qualifications change and match the system. In addition, Li Mu's participation in the Mountain and Sea Hunting this time has another benefit, which is to increase the capital to enter the Galaxy Holy Courtyard. After returning to the classroom, Li Mu and Lu Shuangyan bumped into each other. After class, the two walked out of the classroom side by side. Lu Shuangyan handed over a copy of Martial Arts. 8th level Martial Arts, Crazy Thunder Sword Technique. This is the highest level technique I can take. 8th grade. That's enough. Li Mu accepted the martial arts and showed a faint smile. Thank you, Monitor. If you have any trouble in the future, I will definitely help you as long as I can. Lu Shuangyan looked at Li Mu with a complicated expression. Have you been hiding yourself this whole time? Li Mu looked at Lu Shuangyan and was silent for a long time without answering. After all, he was indeed just a martial arts disciple before this. Seeing that Li Mu was unwilling to answer him, Lu Shuangyan stopped asking. At the same time, in a corner, Zhuang Ziqi looked at Li Mu with jealous eyes. Why is an orphan so lucky? Why can he have such a talent? Why is this talent in him, but in an orphan? God, you have eyes. A martial artist. Then let's see if the martial artist can kill you. Shuangyan is mine and no one can get close to him. Late at night, Li Mu was wandering around alone, and he came to the city gate of the blood-refining jungle. Looking at the blood that had not yet been washed away in the dilapidated city gate, Li Mu sighed. This time it can be said that the Grand Master saved Xinjiang, if he had not destroyed 2 king-level ferocious beasts at the cost of his life. I am afraid that the entire Xinjiang will not be spared. Even if he has systematic cultivation, he will not be able to compete with the king-level ferocious beasts in a short period of time. The wind and leaves rustled, and the dark shadows in the darkness gradually approached Li Mu. Suddenly, the cold sword light flashed, and a blade stabbed straight towards Li Mu. What's going on? The killer's expression was startled, and his expression suddenly became extremely ugly as he looked at the disappearing afterimage. You've been following me all this way, do you really think I didn't notice you? The killer's face looked extremely ugly. Did you lead me here on purpose? Li Mu did not answer the killer. When the killer saw that the assassination failed, his figure turned into a black wind and disappeared instantly. Then he came behind Li Mu like a ghost. Shadow attack kill. With blood boiling, the dark red weapon turned into a beam and shot away. Li Mu performed the wandering dragon step. He easily dodged the attack and punched out his fists at the same time. The air made an explosion and the void trembled violently. The killer was instantly blown away, and the terrifying force tore the killer's body apart. How is that possible? How could a mere martial artist possess such terrifying power? Is this the difference between them and real monsters? Li Mu looked at the killer expressionlessly and asked coldly, "Who sent you here?" The killer looked horrified, but still gritted his teeth and told Li Mu nothing. Li Mu was not impatient when he saw this, and took out his Lingwu knife and cut off the killer's hamstring. The killer let out a tragic wail, and no one in the silent environment of the night knew what was happening here. Aren't you going to tell me? What do you think will happen if I break all 4 of your hamstrings and throw you into the blood-refining jungle? The killer's pupils dilated and he shouted in fear, "Devil! You devil!" Finally, under Li Mu's cold threats, he told Li Mu who the employer behind him was. Zhuang Ziqi. Have I ever had any grudges with him? Li Mu frowned. He really couldn't remember any interaction between him and Zhuang Ziqi. But since the other party has sent a killer, Li Mu naturally cannot sit still and wait for death. Poof! With a knife to seal his throat, the killer covered his neck and stared. He didn't understand why Li Mu still took action. Congratulations on killing the underground killer and losing 3 years of cultivation. Li Mu's aura rose again, and the blazing flame in his hand burned. The fierce flames burned the corpse, and Li Mu's figure disappeared into the darkness. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.